What's up and what's going on, fellow Pantheon viewers? Appreciate every single one of you guys joining us this fine Thursday evening with a lot of topics to get into with you guys. On this evening, we are going to talk about the Black Panther video game that has been canceled. We're also going to talk about Chris Hemsworth's video as Thor, thanking fans as his time as Thor, or talk about the Harry Potter casting for the HBO Max series. We'll talk about James Gunn and seeming if he's going to win SDCC or if it's going to go to Marvel. I'm going to talk about the Karate Kid and its utter fucking failure is what we're hearing. I haven't seen it, but we're hearing. And Streamer University, launched by Kai Cenat and Forever. We'll talk about Forever as well. Spoilers on that. So we'll talk about all those things. And there's nothing that's not on the docket, but I did want to talk about one of the scoopers out there put how there's going to be a Avengers team that comes out of the X-Men universe, and I kind of want to talk about that and what that could possibly mean, tying back to what I was told way back last summer. So we'll get into all those things. Before we get into that, Chill, how have you been since the last time we talked on last Thursday?
I've been doing good. I've been doing okay, learning some stuff about the DC character Mr. Terrific with their new comic that came out. First time ever reading that character, and I'm enjoying it.
Nice.
Yeah, you took a bite too early, Darius.
Hey, brother, I thought you was going to talk a little bit longer. Marcus, how have you been?
I'm doing all right, man. Doing better now that I heard, some of this extra, scoopage that's happening. There's a lot of negative things happening on in the superhero verse these days. So it's good for some positive news. So yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, I think we do got some very positive news when it comes to. And I'm, you know me when it comes to that stuff. I haven't really been positive on the recast stuff, but if this is true, this is positive. So we'll get into it. We'll definitely get into it. But first, where do you want to start, Chill?
Got to do the Black Panther video game like Zangbeto wants us to do.
Sure, mic on, Darius.
Yeah, I muted it for a second. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chill, you have an article for that?
The IGN article? No, I don't have it. The game was canceled. My initial response was, Kevin Feige found out T'Challa would be in the game, and he was like, nope, any iteration, the character must not be in it.
They wasn't even about to put him in there. They already got the message.
But then, the more and more I hear and talk, and I think Draymach was the first guy who brought this to my attention. He's going, this is a good news story. You see, the plan in the video game was T'Challa goes off and now there's a new Panther and you get to create him and you get to play him. And they are deciding that's not what people want. Let's listen to our fan base. Why are we going to go 3 more years into video game development to put out a product which is not going to have T'Challa in it when the fans are telling us they don't want that? So this goes from laughing at Kevin Feige and laughing at and now it's like, wait, are they listening? Is Darius's source telling the truth? That the game plan at Marvel isn't T'Challa must die and he goes away and we don't see him anymore. And the game plan is T'Challa has been recast. It is Damson Idris, and he's not playing Toussaint, who's older, or another person from another universe who they also call. He's playing T'Challa proper. Maybe that is the good news story out of the video game cancellation.
I think the fact that they were creating a game where all the playable characters were going to be T'Challa adjacent and not actually T'Challa. And they went so far as to sort of kind of craft the story of the campaign around T'Challa being gone. Irony, though, wasn't dead. It wasn't a death. It was some sort of kidnapping sort of situation, right? Some sort of he's taken off the board temporarily. Now you have to play as the other characters. Why couldn't we have done that in the first place?
In the movie?
Yeah, like why couldn't that have been the general direction? I think the fact that they were doing that though kind of confirms what we were all thinking in the first place, that there was a direct edict not to repurpose T'Challa in other Black Panther properties. We're so far down the line of the IP. We're talking about an offshoot studio that was created specifically to make this game, and even they can't use T'Challa. Like we have to get to like third party licensing Marvel Rivals, Ultimate Alliance stuff, and that's from years ago, right? Before you actually start seeing a playable version or a marketable version of T'Challa in today's media. So I definitely think that this is as good as a confirmation as we're ever going to get that people are actively being told, no, don't use him. Either there are other plans or he's not being used right now at all because.
And that's so strange. It's like a, anyway. Yeah, with whatever weird mandate is out there to not use him, as I've said that before too. I thought it always stemmed past. To me, that was evident with 97. It stemmed past live action. I thought it went into the games. I thought it went into the cartoons. I thought it went into coloring books. It went into the whatever it is. Spidey and Friends, from my understanding, he didn't even take his mask off. He doesn't speak. That's the cartoon for like 4-year-olds.
Yeah, I don't think he ever actually seen him without his mask. So if I'm understanding this this comment, which is probably just Kevin Davis by another name, but to just so that I'm understanding the question here. So if they're killed in the comics, it doesn't make sense for them to show up in the video games. So by that logic, when Peter Parker died in the comics, that means we shouldn't have gotten
the Insomniac game.
The first Insomniac game, the first one, right? That shouldn't have happened because, of course, they killed him in the comics. So why would he be in the video game, right? That's weird based off of your thinking and your comment.
Do you think Glindor, Paul, do you think he's saying it like he's rooting for it, or do you think he's more on your side and going,
I don't know.
Yeah, why would they put it?
That's why I'm asking the question, and I'm trying to get some clarification. Let me know if I'm barking up the right tree.
Yeah. No, I never cared about this damn video game. So I cared to the point of, to add fuel. It helped. It added ammunition to what I was saying, to what we were always saying, as far as like wanting T'Challa recast and things like that, and using T'Challa. That's the only reason I ever talked about the game, because it was ammunition for T'Challa being absent. I don't give a fuck about this game, not at all. Especially when they said they weren't using T'Challa. So it's like,
yeah, if T'Challa wasn't a playable character, the game was dead. It looks like we got some clarification on the Spidey Friends show. It looks like he does show it. I know he speaks. I definitely heard him.
He does show his face. Okay.
Yeah, and when did that go in development?
I don't know. Corey's son, what's his name? Corey's son,
KJ?
KJ watches, I don't know, I'm blanking. Corey's son, KJ watches Spidey and Friends, and she told me that he doesn't. Never seen.
Maybe it's not a lot. I can't imagine them being seen outside of their mask a lot anyway. It's kind of not the point of the show. But I guess it's at least good that they still call him T'Challa. They acknowledge who it is underneath the mask.
Oh, do they call him T'Challa?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, this is actually like a good sign, right? Now, the Worlds to Come comic book isn't a good sign, but maybe CB Cebulski and those dudes didn't get the memo.
It's as good as a sign as Imperial, right? I think a lot of them people have been excited. I'm hearing, as a guy who's kind of been out of the comics ring here for a little over a year, I'm hearing a lot of excitement around Imperial. So, if I'm feeling it this way, that speaks to a pretty good anticipation, at least. Probably
there's a tie-in for Imperial called Imperial Black Panther #1, written by Jonathan Hickman and somebody else. So it's co-written by Hickman. It's half of what I want. It's like, I know you just put his name on there for the sake of sales, and I guess he probably does have a role in it because he's doing Imperial, the actual limited series, the event series. So I know you stuck his name in there. It's like when you call him the head of X in a book by someone who's not Jonathan Hickman. I get it. I know why they did it. My enthusiasm though it's not where yours is, Marcus, because I see through I know what a push is and I know what's not. EA probably canceled the game because of the costs to make it. Maybe. Johnny asks a great question. Isn't canceling this game a good thing?
I say yes.
So. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 3 S's.
Let me ask you though. So then if the Imperial mini or the whatever the event leads to directly into an ongoing Black Panther book, would that change your feelings about it?
I actually think that's likely to happen. And thumbs up. I'm with it. I'm calling the one shot tie-in a artificial, like it's
Oh,
not the
that I got you.
authentic real we're pushing him. It's just like a tie-in. But yeah, maybe we got to see what happens.
Looks like we got some answers from.
I think it's stupid what the MCU has done, and I think that these studios talk to each other. They killed him in the comics clearly to cover the MCU mistakes, and then canceled this game because they want to elevate characters like Shuri. So you thought that this game was a T'Challa game.
Was a T'Challa game.
I have reason to believe it wasn't a T'Challa game. It was where are we? Ethan. His name is not Fun E-Man. No relation to the one from Chicago. Fun fact. This Black Panther game was going to have you play as T'Challa's son and also includes the Skrulls as antagonists.
That's crazy. That is
This
crazy.
is a dude off the internet. I don't know him from Adam, but these were some screenshots.
But he
that
looks
was
like
able
he's
to,
got some shots though.
Yeah, but none of them are of the son of T'Challa.
Right.
Like, this
true.
is just screenshots, right? So he said that, and then he quote tweeted it, and he says, "Those who participated in a survey were shown a scene where T'Challa's son Azari, one of multiple playable characters."
Oh, okay. So they were using Azari.
Yeah.
Was fighting T'Challa in
That's
ritual combat in a scene very similar to the film. It was interrupted by a Skrull ship coming down and T'Challa being taken.
Yeah, that's
This
what I
is
heard.
apparently this is like storyboard art or concept art. I
Okay,
mean,
I don't. If it's Azuri from the comics, his son,
No,
I don't mind that.
No, I do, because he's not a playable character. He's a MacGuffin. He's the object that everyone's chasing in the game, but he's not in the game. We probably won't get to do shit as T'Challa probably until the end as like a maybe some bonus content, or maybe you get to fight as him to beat the final boss, whoever that may be. But like 90% of the game, you will not be playing as the Black Panther.
Not Fun E-Man says, these are the concept art images that were shown during a confidential EA survey. And I remember tweeting him if these were real or not. Well, someone did here. Are these legit or AI? These are the concept art images that were shown during a confidential EA survey. I asked them a question.
This is what they were working with. This is what they were starting out with. This is what they were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see. So, okay, let me shoot y'all this way. I'll shoot you this idea. Insomniac comes with y'all, and instead of the first Spider-Man game that we got, right, we get Mayday Parker. Right? Green Goblin comes in, he swoops away Peter. Nobody knows what's going on, and you got to play most of the game as Mayday. Y'all playing it? Or you can play as Mary Jane. Right? Right? Because that's
never happen.
Right? The fuck are we talking? What are we talking about? Whose idea was this? That's only the harebrained idea of people who are been forced to choose a character other than T'Challa. Okay, well, I guess we just gotta play with some other stuff. Didn't he have a son one time? Something like that, right? It was like some.
Isn't there Elseworld with Storm?
Elseworld, yeah. Wasn't there something like that? We could do that.
That even though it is Azuri, it's funny to me that they are still pushing the kid, even in the game.
They trying to find a way to make this kid work. They are trying to find a way. And honestly, if it was successful, the game would have got here. I think if that angle was working, we would have gotten here. That's very interesting to me, though, that they pulled the plug on it, because if that's what they were trying to force to us was this Azuri angle, well, why didn't we work it here? We're getting the Christopher Priest one shot. That's going to presumably involve a child, right?
He writes, "This is an email I have a screenshot of. Legally speaking, this is definitely not my email." And he says, the email says, "Congrats, you've been invited to take part in our at-home playtest survey." And so it's like, apparently it's real. Like, I don't know. I believe it, but like, this isn't proof. Like, this is just a guy who could have created this on his own little computer, right? So there's that. I don't know. As of right now, the way I sit is, yeah, this is a great news story. I know people are gonna say stuff like, "Yo, this was a black video game with a black character. How can we lose that?" But I feel like the damage that was gonna be done with this game's existence was long term terrible for the franchise and the IP. And so I go, yeah, this is great. I know Dre said this was good news that the video game has been canceled, and like the message is getting across. That's 4 content creators saying yay.
Well, okay, so let's look at the other games that are coming out from EA, the other Marvel games that are going to be coming out from EA through various other studios. You got Iron Man, you got Wolverine,
You still got Blade.
Presumably
Still
another installment from a Spider-Man. Which one of them are following that model? Is Iron Man going to be played through Happy Hogan and Pepper Potts? Is
Right.
like this shit sounds absolutely ridiculous when you just pick it up and you put it on anybody else's IP. It sounds stupid.
100%.
These were all
And
the
so
things
we're
that
not
we were
going to
talking
get
about.
Dakin and with X-23 playable in the Wolverine game. So what in the F are we even talking about? What are we talking about?
You see, Chad died, and he's so integral. He was T'Challa to Chadwick.
What does that have to do with a video game, y'all? And I love Chadwick Boseman, but what does that have to do with the video games?
I don't know if I've heard
There isn't
that.
a single video game iteration that is Chadwick's likeness. What are we doing? Why are you folding yourself into knots to make this shit make sense? This is wasteful. You're closing down video game studios that you created to make this game.
Hey, I heard some stories about that. I hear that the guy who's behind that studio, his name was Steven something, but he's one of those, I only hire black, and I'm sort of like this like white knight type of, like, he's someone who, if you investigated, you could actually get him for discriminating in his hiring against white people. And in Donald Trump's America, you don't want that. I've seen a lot of tweets saying that this
people.
he's
I don't have time for this.
Yeah, he's
Let's
anti-white.
not dig down this rabbit hole. I don't want any parts of this.
Yeah, but that's another reason why I think that they're shutting down the studio. Like the studio, like emails are not going to be, they're going to be erased. There will be no track record of this branch of EA.
Are you telling me that this man is guilty of white discrimination of white people in America? In America? I don't want any parts of this. Let's move off this game.
It reminds me, we're moving off, right?
Yeah. Go on.
No, we have a super, but remind me to bring up Streamer University and how it ties in. We got super. I've been dying to play this one. This one's for you, Michael Nemo.
The Diddy choice is wild.
You were vibing until you realized.
I realized he was on the screen.
Oh, what's going on, Michael Nemo? He says $5. The Fantastic Four game's only playable characters are Sue and Shala Bal. That's it. You can only play the best ones, obviously. Fantastic Four, Shala Bal, one and the same. Come on.
That's funny.
Well,
congratulations to Cassie for pregnancy, and this is her 3rd kid now with the dude. Why you did not just make that face for pregnancy? She has.
No. Congratulations on the pregnancy. I want to leave the name Cassie alone for a long while. I think we have all gotten information that we didn't want. Obviously, it's a trial, so things are going to come out. It just feels dirty. I saw Cassie. Cassie was introduced to me as a heartthrob. I think I was like 12. The image of that woman has been unfortunately tarnished permanently for me. In the way that what I thought it was. You know what I mean? Like there are certain ones that you caught at a very young age and you idolized. I think Cassie was one of them ones for me on a personal level. So it's just like, yeah, let's retire that for a little bit. You know what I mean?
The trial's been interesting. It's been interesting. Without saying her name, it's been interesting.
Sure.
I will say, though, on that, I have a very hard time, just from what I've been seeing from the trial and just listening to everybody else speak about the trial, believing that he is going to get charged with sex trafficking, racketeering, any of that shit. He probably will get charged with, domestic violence, but that is not a federal charge. It's a state charge.
They need. Okay, guys. Let's do law by Marcus in only a way that I could substitute Pam, since we don't have Pam tonight. We're doing RICO, right? You need two aspects of organized crime to get to the RICO. What are the things that they listed off in the beginning? There was the sex trafficking, obviously. There was the blackmail and coercion. There was the assault and attempted murder that they are still attempting, or excuse me, not attempted murder, excuse me. Arson.
Mm-hmm.
Arson was the next one because of the Kid Cudi stuff. You had kidnapping, because we're holding women against their will, holding people against their will. They stacked the cake so high, they only got a hit on two. I think, where was we talking about the standard of sex trafficking? Very low. And if he held these women for any amount of time against their will, kidnapping's gone. Like I think we've gotten eyewitness testimony twice to two different individuals that he's now held against their will. Check and check. The most surprising thing to me is that they didn't have to dig very deep to cross their threshold. That there were so many frivolous crimes going on here that by the letter of the law, that's how they'll ultimately check their boxes. Guys, the federal government indicts at a 95% rate for a reason. It ain't because there's just this long line of criminality that they have to prosecute, which they do, but that's not why they prosecute at such a high rate. They do because they stack the evidence so high with thresholds that are so low. That's the math we're playing with here. I don't think Diddy is safe at all.
Yeah, and I agree with what Ricardo said. Sorry, I said Rico. Thinking about the Rico charge. Ricardo, when he said, you got Thug and people calling Cudi a snitch, which I think is just crazy. Yeah, nigga,
he wants to go back to jail so bad, y'all.
No, he really does.
You can see it all over the man. He just feels like he wants to be back in jail. What business is of yours? Fam, you can't go to the metropolitan area of your own city. What would make you talk on this? What would make you speak on this? Let alone call the man a rat.
Right.
What are we doing?
Right.
What are we doing?
Yeah. No, it's all crazy.
The use of the baby oil and the testimony coming from people forgot about the lace baby oil because we haven't really got to that, right? There's been a lot of focus on
they've talked about it
and the trafficking stuff, but I don't. Who was talking about the?
They talked about the baby oil. They've brought up the baby oil, but I mean, it's just like, but see, on that part, I don't agree. Like, because you got niggas like Boosie and Faison's fat ass and other motherfuckers out there talking about some damn. It's a crime to be a freak. No, nigga, it's not a crime to be a freak. It's not a crime to have baby oil. It's not a crime to do any of that shit. You want to have all the menage a trois you want to have? That is your fucking business. It is a crime when you tack on everything else that he's being charged with.
Let me those individuals, right? Is it a crime to be a freak? When you had your freak off, did you have to punch the girl in the face to make her do it? Like, right. Is that how you had yours? When you had your menage, did you take all of her forms of communication and put them with your employees to make sure she couldn't get them back? Is that how you got them? I just want to know, since we're caping for deviance, I want to understand the science here. So when y'all have your encounters like this, you lock them up in rooms, you knock them down, drag them out, drag them back to the place where you was having. Is that how it happened for y'all? Because see, my idea is that y'all just think that they're bullying Diddy for having consensual sex. And if that's what y'all think, you're stupid. I just don't know how else to say it or put it. You're dumb.
Yep. But this is also coming from Boosie's mouth. This is the same nigga that at his 9-year-old or 8-year-old son's birthday party had strippers and people twerking. So nigga, like, your opinion on anything like it's not like valid at all. You need to first of all, you need to take care of your daughter that you've excommunicated. You need to focus on. Boosie needs to clean up his own house while he's talking about other motherfuckers' business in the media.
You know what? The one thing that I will give this is it's so hard to really parse through all the information. No, it's hard to parse through all the information because the gossip sites only want to talk about the sex stuff, right? Like they're going through hours and hours and hours of testimony trying to tack on to a laundry list of charges. But TMZ only wants to tell you, Cassie said she got peed in her mouth.
Trip.
While that is a personal blow to my to my childhood, I don't think that is some of the stuff that they are taking a lot of time on inside of the court. It may be highlighted after, but I just don't think that they're spending hours and hours and hours talking about PP. Now I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong, and the verdict can smack me in the face like a Mack truck when it comes through.
But
if you're expecting this man to beat this case, I don't know.
With this comment, there's times to include race, racial inequality, be mad. He says, I don't believe shit them white folks be talking about.
So then go through the evidence for yourself. All of this stuff is public. We don't have to listen to TMZ. We don't have to listen to the white folks that are reporting the stuff that is coming out of the trial. They write every word, every syllable that is being said in this courtroom down. You can go read the court docket yourself. You don't got to listen to me. You don't got to listen to nobody else. We can cut the middleman completely out and just go read it for ourselves, and we can come up with our own conclusions. We don't got to trust white folks.
Don't diminish the credibility of complaining on race or bringing them up because by using this stupid logic right here, you can't believe white folks. Like, shut up! Like you're actually hurting the cause, and you may be an op. Like I don't think you're thinking this one through. Understanding.
I mean, maybe he could have that genuine thought. I'm just saying there are ways to get around that if you're being earnest. Like if you're being truly honest in that critique, you don't have to. We don't have to leave it up to them.
Something happened. See these white folks taking away our Pantheon co-hosts. The white folks coming in here on understanding. Here come the white folks. Shoot. Pay that white internet bill. So I was going to bring it on to Streamer University, okay? Listen. Whoops. Can't do that. We got another super chat. We gonna get hot. Michael Nemo, regular. He says, sorry about that. Drip. Deserves another 2. I'm glad somebody heard me. I thought it went under the radar. Yeah, man. I love the Dave Chappelle show. You know what my favorite Dave Chappelle skit was? Black Bush. Clayton Bigsby was cool. Game Blouses, was that with Prince, was it? That was cool. But the best Dave Chappelle one was Black Bush. What'd you think?
Best Dave Chappelle.
Y'all can continue to ponder. I want it to be known that I'm not mocking anyone. If you truly feel that way, you truly feel that way. I'm just suggesting a way we can go about getting to the information without even using that as a source. I took your comment to heart.
I was right to scope him out and call it, aren't I?
I mean, that's fine. No. I wasn't trying to. I wasn't going your way at all. I wanted to make sure the viewer knew that we weren't attacking them.
My action of finding that clip, arguing it, and telling you why you're invalidating actual complaints for racism and you're hurting the cause. And in comes an argumentative thing such as, mock all you want. I know what I'm talking about. Like, maybe you are up. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're Kevin Davis.
I know. I get where you coming from. I understood where he was coming from.
At the end of, yes, but I will say this: I'm not jumping in this conversation like that. But he did say earlier that he was he's had his own personal experiences. So one thing I can never do is speak on somebody else's.
Yeah, I'm not. You know, if that's where he's at with it, I can't really be mad about it. If he's being honest, also don't know who this person is, so I'm just trying not to make a judgment from a comment in the chat. You know. Yeah, I want some too.
Whoa. We do not just click on supers here. Which one of you two clicked on that thing? Find. All right, go to the side of the screen where it says media assets, and then click on one of those little things with the money logo, and someone's gonna dance for this. We don't just.
Are you giving me instructions or the person who put the super chat up there? I didn't do it.
I'm gonna get money no matter the cost. Having some water, I'm having some boats. Got that dope dick, that's your loss. He's a worker and I am a boss.
Yeah, nigga, I did it. Shit. Now.
So you wanted to be in these spots, right?
All right. Yeah, brother. Have y'all ever had a Berea pizza?
Huh?
A Berea pizza?
Berea pizza.
So it had a consomme on the side, or was that the sauce on the pizza?
No, it was on the side. So you you take your slice and dip. I first time had. Whew!
How do they do the crust, like the bread for the pizza? Is that a flour tortilla?
It's just like the taco, but just
that's
like a quesadilla, like a quesadilla. Yeah.
Tortilla.
Yeah.
Jesus. Now I want part.
Yeah, Planet Poppy, big back activities over here, bro. Yeah, we gets down. You gotta know how to eat.
I'm currently waiting on my dinner plate. That's why I ain't mad. I ain't mad.
Cooking with Kaya.
Ricardo knows exactly what I'm talking about because he's from the city. That there's a specific spot in the city. I think it's family owned, Mexican family, bruh.
Man, you gonna make me visit goddamn Norman? Hey, you know what though? I can't afford a ticket.
I was gonna say
we played. We played the Oklahoma Sooners in Norman, if I'm not mistaken, week 2 of the college football season. That would be an amazing trip to make. I don't think I can afford that ticket though. I don't think I can afford that. I can afford a trip. I can't afford a ticket.
Yeah, playing because Oklahoma's in the SEC now.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, which they have no business being in. And I'm not a football fan. I'm just judging off of.
I mean, in sports period, I don't think Oklahoma belongs in the SEC, but that's just me.
Now, what they can do is if OKC, now I don't want to sound like a bandwagon because I am not. I want to make it very clear. My team is at home. Steph and them are out, unfortunately. But had Steph not been out, this would have been a different story for OKC. However, because it is my hometown, I am supporting them. And you don't have to look like that. It would have been a different story. Because this is my hometown, I'm supporting them. I do want them to win. If they do win this and bring this on home, I think just from some things they put out, I guess Russell Westbrook is building a I forget how many acres. It's huge, a multi-sports complex downtown. So if they win, I mean, it's already bringing a lot more attention to the city. So kudos to them. They look great.
Yeah, that's awesome news. Russell Westbrook's known to have a lot of charities and things.
He's very much involved with still in the city. He's still, I think, considered this to be home.
Shout out to him.
Kai Cenat over here was reviewing streamer university stream applications, okay? And he went through a lot of them. And as you guys can see, as an ad has to play. Ad had to play. And it's one of those you can't skip in 5 seconds. Wow.
Yeah, it's a
So
real ad.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I am so clueless now. I've heard him talk about it and everything like that. I don't understand what the fuck Streamer University is supposed to even be.
It's where tips and tricks and information is given by all the AMP guys, and and then Cooking Wakaya, she's a professor of culinary arts, but they just teach people who are like coming up, like this guy here, and this guy who applied, and this dude who made an application, and you can see what I'm trying to get at, right? Like everyone, most people are black. The applicants are black. That's just that's his market. That's who reached out. Dudes like this. I think I know him. I've seen him before. But like he would look at all of the applicants and he would give you, I think it's in Ohio in one of the cities, Akron maybe. It is in Akron.
University of Akron, baby. It's an alma mater.
Yeah.
Grounds.
So the point of Streamer University is to network and it's to teach, and it's a short little what else to get freaky with other
No, keep going.
streamers.
This
You
is
can't
my
do this
church
and say
finger.
keep going.
This is my church finger. My bad. I apologize. I wasn't trying to stop you. Go ahead.
Yeah. The point of Streamer University is to give opportunity, and the people who apply to it are majority black. Now, the thing that they're going off on him for is the same thing that's been going off with the Black Panther video game creator, that he's only hiring black people. This is not friendly to the white applicants. And the same way I can imagine that you would have a much more much more willing to work at the Black Panther video game audience to be black than it is to be white. The same thing with Streaming University. The viewers who see Kai Cenat and want that opportunity or that sphere of the internet, they're going to lean one direction, and it's going to be with dark skin. And that's why so many of the applicants, as we go through, he live streamed him reacting to the applicants. As we go through these applications, we can see video after video, content creator after content creator being black people.
I think this is a very good case of how the algorithms feed you completely different stuff, because I definitely knew that there was some controversy around how he picked the people who got into Streamer U. I just didn't know it had anything to do with people being mad about him picking black people. I got the wave of creators who were mad that he was picking already established streamers to basically just go on there and create content. I thought I heard a lot of people get duped by the whole moniker of Streamer University, thinking that he was actually going to be teaching smaller streamers how to get big, like they were going to be using that to get some sort of clout. And for the life of me, I don't understand why anybody would look at any of the marathon streams that Kai has ever done and think that that's where he was going. Right? Like think that he was like, oh yeah, let me piece this out to the small guys. No. He was gonna mac that thing out with Cooking with Kaya, DDG, all the AMP people, like people who are going to bring eyeballs to this venture. I really didn't understand why my former college was, renting out Colby Hall and some other residence hall for Streamer University, especially when the academic standards at that school are floundering the way that they are. But if you go and take the check, at least if he's going to shell out the cash to rent the spaces, yeah, he's going to put people with names in there to see. The same folks that thought that he was going to bring smaller creators on, right? Would y'all have watched it if you didn't know the names of the people who was on there? And just be honest, because this is the way that I'm thinking he's thinking about it. It was never an idea for me that he thought he was going to elect Planet Fanatics or Chillmonger or Back of the Bus to be on the Streamer University.
Well, if we applied, he might have selected us.
I don't think, again, comparatively to the people that got chosen to go, I don't think we're in that sphere. I don't think that
if
was
our
the idea.
application videos popped, there's a chance we could have made it. I'm defending him. I'm defending him so hard right now. Yes,
Yeah, you're
we
caping
could
pretty
have.
hard considering again the acts that he chose. I'm not even trying to have this argument because again, the way that you saw the controversy was completely different. Just people being mad that he picked a bunch of black streamers. I didn't even see that. That's ridiculous, though.
And Rico says the small streamers mostly stayed in their room. Small streamers were there. Now you're making a great point of getting name brand people who are gonna like DDG and everyone. Yeah, I get it. I get why he would do that too. And then they have a role in this big event. But he didn't give ISO Speed's younger brother a chance either, because he did have like rules basically. Like now you're too. You just didn't work. You didn't apply properly. You didn't fit in. He didn't give it to him. I want to say something though that's really important before I forget though. It was very good. Like I watched agents and I recommend every single one of you guys to watch this video up top, teaching my first class at Streamer University. The knowledge that he gave about rates, RPM, CPM, I should say, the knowledge that he was giving us about how, depending on what your niche is to work, it was actually informative, good stuff. And then the last thing is that this is not the government. Now, if you want to complain that the government's prioritizing one race over another race and it's hard out here for whites and whatever, this is a private individual named Kai Sanat who is selecting whoever he pleases to select out of his own choice. There doesn't need to be rules and fairness and whatever. It's all up to him. So the complaints are invalid 1,000% from every angle you can possibly come at this guy for his Streamer University idea. And I think this is the first year of Streamer University, and next year he'll probably get some more white guys. He'll get maybe Mr. Beast's friends or someone like that.
If you were mad that you were a smaller creator and that you didn't get on, I still think it's unrealistic. I won't say that it's invalid. I would say that you probably weren't paying attention. If you were mad that there were a bunch of black streamers on with Kai Sanat, well, I don't really know what to tell you. Yeah, that's pretty invalid.
And they had Ray. Ray was there too.
Oh yeah, Asian guy.
Taiwan, I think.
Ray's always with him though.
Taiwanese.
Dramac says that I'm too old to be part of that foolishness, and I'm a streamer. Yeah. And now are we arguing about ageism when it comes to Kai, or do we just understand who this is for? Aubrey Graham was there. He's a bit old.
I don't think everybody understood. I think that's the part that's pretty clear across the board, is that everybody did not understand what he was trying to do, but they found out.
Chill is very anti-white tonight. Yeah, man. You know me. The blacker the berry, sweeter the juice. The whiter the berry, there's disease in the fruit.
Never
heard that. Wow.
Off the dome.
But, I mean, literally though. I mean, if there's white on it, that is crazy. How did you just fall into that? It's pretty good.
What is our next topic?
Odin's son, Thor. You are all unworthy.
That's right. Now, I didn't watch this video because, as I've said, when it comes to Marvel, unless it's Doomsday or something about Doomsday or something about telling me how this is going to get wrapped up, or T'Challa, I don't quite give a fuck. So, I do know that he put out a video saying something alluding to the fact that he may be quitting, or not quitting, I'm sorry, dying.
Sorry, you can go. Keep going.
Yeah, alluding to the fact that he may be dying in Doomsday.
What? Oh, in Doomsday.
He doesn't allude to it. It doesn't. It's just a great video, well produced by the people who produce Marvel projects. And they put it on his social media account.
He can't die. I thought we was getting Thor 5.
And we found Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, you're damn right.
How do you get footage of the Chris Hemsworth Thor screen test? Well, you got to be Marvel.
Punishment for my endless pursuit of glory.
The way Chris did it, we thought, okay, this is going to work.
It's really, really just impressive to watch him work. He's so committed and works so hard. He has such incredible comedic talent as well.
Another.
That's the best thing to do.
this is what it's all about, you know, is coming, meeting the people who love the characters more than anyone, and so that's a very, very special thing.
It really is inspiring because he is brave enough to try things and see what sticks.
When I came on to do Ragnarok, I basically said, look, man, you just got to be more of yourself to make the character more relatable and funny.
I swear, I'm not even moving, it's just doing this on its own.
I think that's what you want in a superhero.
I have loved every single time I played the character. This is 10 years now. To have the opportunity to do another one is just mind-blowing, you know? It's going to be incredible. What a classic Thor adventure!
Had to include that.
You definitely didn't need to.
You work out that hard, you want to show up. But that was a piece that was posted on his personal pages, and I say this was Marvel. I think that in your contract, you're supposed to promote, and you got to put this on your Instagram story, and you got to do that every now and again. We're gonna give you some clips, and you got to post it and make it seem like it's you saying this. He didn't choose to do that. It was just something Marvel put up, make people talk, and it's getting us to theorize. Ooh, is he gonna die? We remember he said he has Alzheimer's in his family, and he said that he doesn't want to spend too much time away from the kids. He'd rather spend his time only when it's meaningful, to leave and do these jobs and stuff. He's gonna call it quits, and he's gonna die, or he's gonna not be in it anymore. He's saying goodbye. It's getting.
Is that what it was?
Theorize.
He's got a diagnosis.
No, he knows that it's in his family. And yeah, he was diagnosed with it, and he's going to have it in the future, or unless the preventative methods that he's doing now work. He knows his time is limited. A guy, he might live until 80, but if your entire 70s you're not there, who knows? And we want the best for him. I want him to be safe and healthy and protected. But that's what they were like ripping at. They were like clawing at our emotions, at our knowledge that we know about, and they gave us this little promotional. Let's talk about Marvel. Let's talk about Thor today. I think it's great because this wasn't going to be a Pantheon. Thor and Chris Hemsworth longevity with the company wasn't going to be on Pantheon this week, and now it is. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I think that's what Marvel needs to do more of. They've done it with Robert Downey Jr. I think he posted like Ironheart one time. I think he did the chair thing. It's part of his contract also, where we're gonna like using your social media. You're gonna help promote the game, the movie. Who else is there?
$80 million. You a slave, boy. You gonna do
Pedro
everything.
Pascal is gonna have one too. It's coming any minute now. I'm sure Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds, or Hugh Jackman is gonna have one of these also. Just pay attention. These are Marvel driven. He didn't do this out of his own choice. They were using behind the scenes footage. They were using the logo of Thor, Love and Thunder during the names. Like Chris Hemsworth posted it, yes, but Marvel produced this. Someone who produces every other featurette also did this one too.
Are we saying it's good promotion for Doomsday?
Yeah, what is this promotion for, by the way? Like, what is this? Like, is this for Fantastic Four, Doomsday? Like, what is he hyping right now?
Do I have to repeat myself? He's getting everyone talking about the fate of his character. So he's
right.
promoting.
Again, but what is that enthusiasm?
When you say everyone, who do you mean by everyone? Our bubble, everyone?
Our bubble. You're right. Not everyone. Okay.
Okay. So this was pointless then.
How do we exercise this excitement? Where do we go? Is this supposed to lead us to Fantastic Four? I guess is what I'm asking.
I guess my thing with it is, I guess I see this as pointless. I see what you're saying, Jill. I don't see it that way. I see it as pointless. If it's only reaching the people like us that are still invested in Marvel because we are comic book readers, we have been here, we know these characters, we want to see this stuff, blah, 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 blah. If it's not hitting the casuals, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. I told you. I didn't tell you. I on my stream the other night I didn't tell you guys this. I just had dinner with casuals. Three casuals. One of my best friends, his wife, and his son. His son just is in the Navy, so he's like 19 years old now. We sat dinner, and they were asking me, how's YouTube? How's this? How's that? Blah, blah, blah. They got on the Thunderbolts. I'm like, what? It sounds like something should be on Disney Plus. Do I need to watch that? I don't want to go watch that. And all this kind of stuff. Blah, blah, blah. And then they were like, who are they? Who's the Avengers? And how does all this tie into Loki? Loki is what they brought up. So if it's not, casuals aren't watching whatever the fuck Marvel and Hemsworth put together. They're not, because casuals aren't watching the Thunderbolts. So casuals definitely are not watching whatever he put out. Yes, it's an hour bubble, but it's not reaching who it needs to reach. So this again was pointless.
Culture made channel. Darius, it might be to test engagement for the Thor 5 rumors. That's true. And then also it's worth a try, because I talked to a casual today. Got some coffee. We were talking casual stuff, and then says, "Oh yeah, I did see that about Chris Hemsworth and Thor." He actually said that to me. So, and this was a casual guy who's not really into that superhero stuff. That was like a person who was impacted by this. So even if, yeah, it's not a success the way that when Robert Downey was at Comic-Con, everyone was talking about it. It was on the radio. It was on, every news piece article. Everyone was covering it. I get it. There's sometimes they're going to work like that. Sometimes they're not going to work. Just that they are trying to make things like this work is good promotional points that I'm going to score for Marvel Disney every single time. We can agree it wasn't that effective, because I just checked it and it had 400,000 views, right? And maybe it'll finish off at 1 million viewers, which you want more than 1 million, right? Your trailers get like 30 million views. I understand how it wasn't super effective. It's still something, and it's worth commending them for these interesting strategies to get conversation going about their product.
Do you think this would have worked for Pedro Pascal, or do you think
his is coming?
Chris Hemsworth's history is what tugged your heartstrings. What sizzle reel could they possibly put together that's not giving more footage away from Fantastic Four for Pedro? Or one, again, I'm just naming or Kirby, or Stranger Things kid. Like, they need something from the people who are going to be in their next major film. That's kind of the only thing that's missing to me. Is, yes, this is good promotion. Yes, makes you feel good. Yes, it makes you nostalgic about a time when the MCU was great, and we like Chris Hemsworth. The reason why I asked about where we're going to excise this excitement is because it's not like it's unlimited. It's not like you push it to the top and it stays there. You got a really short amount of time to follow up on it. Maybe this would be better served when you're going to get an appearance from Chris Hemsworth, which maybe that's what they're somehow teasing in a roundabout way. Maybe, but that doesn't make sense. Where does Thor fit into the Fantastic Four story? So I would want to see it. I would have maybe liked to have seen something like this for Ironheart. Put together a sizzle reel from her and her stuff that she was doing in Wakanda Forever, and then maybe use that general excitement to push towards the show that you're premiering. But like, I would expect this Chris Hemsworth sauce to kind of drizzle off on everything else that's happening around it, and I just don't know how effective that's going to be at this very moment. Maybe if it was a bit better timed, it would have been more effective.
The Ironheart one is coming.
Day 2 before the show comes out, because what are we on now? Day 30, whatever.
We don't have very much time.
This is why I am checked out, unless it is now. Not to say I'm checked out. I'm not going to go see Fantastic Four. I am. They should be extremely, extremely worried about Fantastic Four. In my opinion, I think they should be. I can't wait to see those numbers. Unless it's Doomsday, stuff like that. I'm just.
What's your projection for Fantastic Four?
I don't think it's going to do well at all. At all. My projection, I think it does a tad better than Brave New World.
Ooh. Yeah.
And that's me being generous. I'm being honest. I'm being generous because I'm thinking for real. It might tie with Brave New World, or maybe even be under it. Remember, these are characters that we have not seen on screen since what's his name's failed one? Michael B. Jordan and Miles Teller. They need to be worried. They should be worried.
Michael says, I don't know if it's pointless, but it does feel like the upfronts, like a video produced for investors, otherwise known as a Disney navel gazing.
That's another thing we didn't think about too. Disney, as well as Warner Brothers right now, are courting the investor class, right? So I'm kind of meshing podcasts together, but somewhere I said something about Warner Brothers credit score getting downgraded, and kind of a benign story if you don't pay attention to financial news, but it does speak to people who are putting money into your company, who are helping produce these films, these $1 million budgeted films that you're creating. And so they are trying to signal to that class of folks that, the ship is righting, they're turning it around. That's when you get these big grandiose articles in the trades. Kathleen Kennedy does this shit all the time, right? Anytime something's not going her way, there's an article that pops out that says, no, that's not true, or no, it's actually this, or no, Kathleen's actually going to be around for forever, and you should never worry about her retirement, right? She's able to kind of work her strings that way. Well, studios do some of the same. That's where you hear all these plans about Kevin Feige's 10-year X-Men plan, after the 5-year plan. That's where you hear about, just different stories that wouldn't normally, you wouldn't expect to get that information directly from a source like that. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to show the people that spend the money that we can still do this, that we're still viable. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. Maybe this is more so for the people who are spending the money than us. Maybe
so. But then, even what SJ just said, he thinks it might clear 500 million. But I was even going to touch on this before Lawrence.
If it does, that's impressive.
It's impressive. I was going to say this before Lawrence even put it in there. Lilo and Stitch is on, as of tomorrow, has been in theaters for a week, and it has already beaten Brave New World, Thunderbolts, things like that. It's not that people are sick of the movie.
What? Total box office?
Oh, box office.
Yeah, over 350.
You mean domestic, right?
Is it domestic, or is it? I have to pull that tweet. Is it domestic, or is that world?
It's already made more than $300 million.
Yes. Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. Lilo and Stitch has already outgrossed the entire theatrical run of Captain America: Brave New World.
That is fucking in a week.
In a week. 414.
Yeah, it's already past that. It's
that is nuts.
So,
literally 7 days to the day.
Exactly. So it's not that people are like, oh, I don't want to go to the movies and fatigued of this.
Yep, it's not that.
It's Marvel.
Mm.
So they should be extremely worried for July, in my opinion. I don't know that there's all this stuff coming out, these tests, the test screenings that they've done, and people coming out saying what the post-credit scene. I've heard what the post-credit scene is going to be and things like that. If that is true, that's not big enough. It would have worked in the Infinity Saga. That's not fucking big enough.
I keep hearing that. I haven't heard exactly what it is. But they're still reworking it. They have their built-in 3-month reshoot period, so they got time to do more. But I just don't understand how we're still going into films like this and we're still, trying to drip out the information and play it close to our vest and, tell a grounded story. Somebody's getting fired. Somebody's getting the boot to their ass because they don't know how to evolve, because they don't know how to be what they haven't been in years, which is something new, which is innovative, hungry. Somebody needs to light a fire under him, or else it's going to be OV.
Yeah. Josh is, you guys talking about Josh in the chat. Josh is that way because Josh literally pays his bills. Marvel pays his bills.
He has been flip-flopping like a fish out of water on Superman and Fantastic Four. One day, oh man, they're really worried. And then next day, actually, I'm really excited. And I could really see this going well. And then the next day is, Warner Brothers could literally sell DC if Superman doesn't succeed. And then the next day is, but I really think that this could be successful. It may make $1.5 billion. And if it makes $1.5 billion, then they're going to overtake Marvel. I'm like, what is this Elseworld verse?
It's because one day his electric bill comes and the rent is due, and then this comes in and that water bill. Because I'm not knocking Josh, of course. Make your hustle. I want to be able to do that. He makes Marvel videos. They pay his bills. Without Marvel content, without Marvel
being good.
So, yeah, that's why he's flip-flopping. Like, one day he's like, damn, Marvel, come on, get y'all shit together. That OG&E bill came. Fuck, I gotta get out here and talk about some like, oh well, guys, maybe. So
yeah,
I like
can't get
Josh,
a read
though, a
on
lot,
him.
so.
I thought he hated the Gunn Superman. Now he loves it. I don't know if he's up or down.
Yeah.
Is that on our docket tonight? Are we talking about Gunn and their, their situation with Superman?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do that. Let's put that up.
I know,
Does
right?
Kevin have any producers left to throw under the bus? Brad Winderbaum. Yeah, I don't know. Brad Winderbaum just kind of got started, and some of his TV shows are charting. Not Daredevil. Daredevil wasn't in the top 10 for Nielsen.
Is he definitely next up? Like he's definitely the guy.
Who else is it?
Look outside.
Maybe Luis Desposito. Maybe I think that's the longest tenured guy there, but it's not Victoria Alonso or the white guy who they had in charge of Black Panther. Laughing at me or his comment?
At you.
Kevin Davis says, good or bad reviews isn't going to stop no movie from making money at the box office. Stop with the excuses. Who's he talking about? What movie is he talking about?
I don't know. Let's move on. Let's just keep talking. And there's no point.
Jadix. Does Kevin have any Oh, sorry, I just read that one. Let's go to Lawrence. Superman is going to show in China. I can see it making bank. Yeah. I don't watch that. This isn't air your grievances against content creators, okay?
Hey, Josh is dope. I like Josh. Josh is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite content creator.
Campia doesn't have consistent enough co-hosts for me to go back to him. It's just like musical chairs over there.
Yeah, they lost. I view Campy every now and then. They lost me back during, they lost me.
I'm sure somebody will get fired next week.
It ain't Aaron or Aaron. No, she's been gone.
She's been gone. It ain't Robert Meyer Burnett because he's the one that keep coming back. He's a glutton for punishment.
You guys all heard me say this isn't air your grievances against content creators. Speaking of getting,
hey, Lauren,
I think Jess with the mess is going to be. She's out. I don't think like her contract gets renewed. She came to work drunk like a week ago, or not drunk, but hungover. I want Darius's Vader poster. That one, all right. I want Marcus's Panther mask.
Hey.
I want Chill's stars on the wall. Boom.
I'm about to have where that Spider-Man Venom poster is. That one's moving. I have a new Black Panther poster coming.
Appreciate you, Plant Poppy.
Nice. Hey, me and Fatal J, we're doing the trending day. That's coming July 1st. Use the hashtag recast T'Challa. You can even schedule a tweet now, which you should be doing. You should have already had your tweet scheduled because that's going to be a very active day.
You can schedule tweets?
You can, yeah. Right on the...
that's crazy.
On your desktop. I don't think you can do it on your phone, though. But you can do it definitely on your desktop, and you can make sure, like, I'm covered 10 o'clock morning, Tuesday, July 1st. We're making a trend. We chose that day because it's the anniversary of when Black Panther debuts. So, me and Fatal J are going to be using the hashtag, and we're going to be going at it. Try not to bring up Shuri. Don't let them say, oh, you see, they just hate the women there, and that's why they say recast. Just talk about why T'Challa is important.
Ain't nobody talked to... Ain't nobody said...
They not talking about Shuri no more.
Yeah, I was like, they ain't
talking about her.
We're talking about Shuri.
With every passing month and year, the distance we get from Chadwick Boseman's death, the emotional response and the clarity starts seeping in. Like, wait, yeah, why is he not in the movies anymore? Secret Wars can reboot, right? They can just start all over again after the next incursion, and they can make everyone come back to life. Why don't they make T'Challa back to life? Recast T'Challa trending day. That's right. Hey, we got some enthusiasm. Was that Chill's white voice? I don't know, but Marcus's voice for A Den of Nerds, you sounded like it's your Toronto voice when you did that voice.
Oh, thanks.
No, he's not like us. He's from like...
He's not Canadian?
Pittsburgh. Den of Nerds? Yeah, he's from he's from Pittsburgh, right?
I don't know why I thought he was Canadian. That's funny.
Hey, yo. That Dragon Ball Super do-rag. Yeah, so James Gunn, you were saying?
Talking about them showing up at SDCC and who would win, who's going to win SDCC. Is it going to be Marvel, and is it going to be DC?
See, SDCC will be what, the second week of Superman? So the movie will already have been out, right?
Yeah.
So what are you gonna show? We won't know by then whether or not that movie is even going to get a sequel. Well, if we do know, then that means it's going exceedingly well.
Yeah, we're planning for success.
Okay. Will you know by week 2 if Superman's going to be profitable?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that they'll have a clear enough picture by week 2 that they'll be talking Superman 2 stuff at SDCC.
You know, most of the money, the highest profile weekend is the first weekend. With that, they'll be able to go, oh, look, we did well with our movie. And then here comes the second weekend.
They make $100 million in the first week.
That's July 11, right? So July 11, they make $100 million, whatever. 7 days later, that's the July 18th weekend. They got a second weekend, boom, boom, boom. And then weekend 3 is July 25.
No, don't, not weekend 3. We're going into SDCC as weekend 2. So now off of $100 million, are you confident enough to walk in front of a crowd of people and announce another project?
Okay, so SDCC is the weekend of July 26 and 27.
So, okay, you have 2 weeks. You'll have 2 weeks. Okay.
You have 2 weeks of data to see. You have the opening weekend, which is the most significant, and you can use that to project if you're successful or not. But then you can even get the second weekend drop, and you can understand if you're successful or not. But assuming that it's successful, because all I want to do, of course, if it fails, then he's limited on what he can announce. But assuming that it's a success and everything goes well for him, he can talk about what he's got on the slate already automatically, which is the Supergirl with Lobo. Here comes Aquaman, Jason Momoa. He can energize a whole Hall H panel. Whatever Peacemaker ends up doing. Peacemaker won't be out yet, technically. It won't be out yet. We can talk about lanterns and bring out Aaron Pierre and say, oh,
that will be good to see if he's got some more lantern stuff.
And a fan can give him a comic book and he can pretend he cares about it. If you guys remember that one video where someone was interviewing him and gave him a Green Lantern comic, he said, I'm not even going to remove it from the plastic. It's so meaningful. And oh, thank you. Aaron Pierre is going to be there. He's going to have probably announcing his new Batman actor in Brave and the Bold. He can win comic.
Hopping back and forth. Go on.
Oh, so since we I think he said that he got, or he was waiting on in the next couple of days, the first draft of the Batman 2, right? So we should get some Batman 2 information too, right?
Could. That's 2 months from now? Yeah, we could have something that he's like ready to say. Yeah. We could even know what's going on with Wonder Woman because he said in a tweet, like, I can't share it yet. Maybe he can share it next at Comic-Con. Knowing that Marvel is on the ropes. Marvel has 2 SDCCs until Avengers Infinity War. You know what I mean? Secret Wars and Doomsday. They have to do this one. And the movie is not coming in May. It's coming in December. So they're going to have a second one. And we know that that's that one next year. Marvel is going to kill it. But this is your opportunity to go all out. You have not been announcing things for a long time. I think your only formal announcement was that thing you did in the beginning of January of 2023. And we haven't seen you since do a big announcement. Here's the slate. You can combine everything that you were saving and give it to us. We even want to see David Cornsweet again, considering we expect the Superman movie to be so successful. Everyone's going to be happy to see David Cornsweet. Tell us where David Cornsweet's Superman is going to appear next. He's going to be in Supergirl. Will he have a cameo? Will he have a longer role? We could actually be happy with that. He has so much at his disposal right now, and the chance to beat Marvel at Comic-Con can't be wasted.
I mean, I wouldn't even just be, if I'm James Gunn, I'm not worried about beating them at a con. I'm worried about beating them in the box office. I'm worried about beating them on the screen, theatrically, where it matters and things like that. So he should be focused, as of course, on Superman coming out first, and then just laying out a slate of what can be expected, because the slate you originally laid out 4 years ago, none of that's now happening. So Worry about beating Marvel theatrically, then just come out and give a cohesive, good slate. Bring out Aaron Pierre, like you said. Show Lanterns clips if you have them. You can bring out Lobo, bring out Momoa, bring out Millie, Alcott, bring them all out. Do all that stuff. But what you don't need to do, if I'm, to me, this loses for James Gunn if he comes out and does this. Don't come out announcing E-list characters. Don't talk about Clayface. Don't come out talking about Sergeant Rock, because you do that, instantly Marvel wins. Instantly. So don't come out doing none of that shit. If he does that, then that's what it is.
Okay. I can't not view it through this lens. I'm viewing this through the lens of, okay, they're still stripping stuff out of the Superman movie as we speak. Okay. Lanterns, Supergirl,
Clayface.
Anything else they get well, hopefully not Clayface, but anything else, Peacemaker season 2, those are things that you want to lean heavily into. David Corenswet's next appearance, absolutely. That is supposed to beat Marvel when they're coming to the table with what y'all told me was the second coming of Jesus, with Robert Downey Jr. coming back, right? They've got the Fox X-Men that they could probably talk about, right? The Fox Universe X-Men. Maybe Ryan Reynolds is farther enough with the next Deadpool project. We can talk about Spider-Man, Brand New Day. Like, I feel like they have bigger brands in front of them to talk about, as opposed to the promise of what the DCU will be, if that makes sense. So, yeah, there's a lot of exciting stuff if Superman goes well to talk about from the DCU standpoint, but it's still projection. It's still stuff we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, it's a title on a screen that's supposed to make us happy.
But that could make
it's
some people
also
happy.
You've never seen Lobo in live action. You've never seen Supergirl on the big screen. You don't know. It looks good in concept. It sounds good in concept. We don't know what it's going to look like when we put film to screen. We know what Tom Holland's going to deliver in Spider-Man 4. At the very least, we know what he's going to deliver as Peter Parker character. We've built up an expectation. It's $1 billion expectation. There is no such expectation on the DCU side. So it's kind of like proven record. And that's what we're talking about at a con. We're not talking about anything tangible that we can measure. It's just going to be excitement. Who's going to get their crowd more excitement? The people that have been here and dominating for 20 years? Or no, promise. Hey, we promise it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome.
And it's not going to show up in 12 months.
I think Marvel wins Hall H SDCC this year again. Again, just because Gunn's not coming out talking
We're listening to live action.
He's not talking gods. He's coming out and talking Waller. And
if he do that shit, they're dead.
Like that.
They're
I'm
dead.
telling you, it just
come
doesn't
back talking about Authority and Clayface. It's over with. Y'all might as well chalk it up.
He can do animated. He can say Static Shock is going to have a 5th season, Static Shock 97. It's coming back, and then we're going to get the same creators, and it's going to be here in the next calendar year because it's animated. We've already been working on it secretly. There's no one's on set recording it, so that's why it hasn't spoiled yet. That's why
are you hoping for Black Project announcements from? I mean, obviously you would be, but is that what you're holding to? Are you holding on to? Okay, I'm just making sure. All right, just making sure.
I forgot about Booster Gold. There's so much that he talked about that really doesn't need to be highlighted at a con like this that he's going to have to talk about, yo. Like, he's gonna have to get into Brave and Bold. I mean, to Booster Gold. He's gonna have to get into Peacemaker too. He's gonna have to get into some of these projects that we kind of want to push to the side so we can talk about the DC gods. But he's not interested, you know. He's just not interested. Y'all think we're going to get some Brave and the Bold information there too?
What's the post-credit scene for Superman? We don't know.
Damian and Bruce. They've already cast them.
Yeah. You saw them.
Word is which I don't believe. I don't know how you would keep that a secret, but word is they've already casted their Batman.
So they're moving for. Okay. again, I don't. That the prospect of having an Elseworld Batman at the same time as a DCU Batman, when we're still questioning on what the price point for their Superman movie is, we're putting the cart before the horse. And even thinking about it in the most optimistic viewpoint, I don't know if two Batman same universe is really, or excuse me, two Batman same studio is something that's going to generate the we beat Marvel type of buzz. It's going to be controversial. People are going to be split. Some people are going to love it. Some people are going to hate it. I don't want to be controversial when I'm trying to beat out my rival studio.
Hand raised here could be a hot take. I'm not saying they're announcing this at SDCC or anything like that, but Pat, you're not seeing Robert Pattinson as Batman again, I don't think.
But he had the concept, and he expects it in the first draft in a few days.
I don't have inside knowledge. I hope this is best for Matt Reeves. I don't care. I mean, I care for his health. I don't care like whether they do the Batman who's not actually canon to James Gunn's universe. I don't care that whatever they do there.
I think if they could just get the story, they would prefer to use the established Batman. I think the only reason why we're still playing with this language of the Elseworld Batman is because whatever's going on with Reeves, they can't confirm that he's going to do it for a long time. For whatever reason.
Yeah. Now, but look, there's unknown things that we don't expect that he can announce. Superman could do so well. Superman is getting a sequel. Here's the new director of it. And that could be like a guy who's not him, not James Gunn, because now he's busy with other things. And it could be another director we're in favor of. His new movie comes 2 years from now because, you know, they planned for it to be successful. And we could be happy that, oh my God, things are really moving at a great pace. He could announce Zack Snyder is back to direct something because it's not like Rebel Moon is going to continue. I think I read that it's over with. Rebel Moon won't get part 7, 8, and 9 like he wanted it to be the next big franchise. Unfortunately, it won't happen. I wish that it could, but he is friends with James Gunn. They even took a photo with each other a few months ago. I think a Zack Snyder work job that he can have in DC, all of a sudden that unifies that fan base and that mess that we're getting online.
Would explode if Snyder walks out on that stage with Gunn and they're announcing some sort of project that he's
one character I really wanted to do was Flash.
That would beat Marvel. A Gunn Snyder reunion, kind of bringing the fractured DC fan base back together. Yeah. That would beat Marvel. Do I think that's going to happen? Absolutely not.
Now here's the thing. Here's the thing, and I'm just throwing a hypothetical out there. We'll get on this topic in just a second. Now, you say that'll beat Marvel. What if Marvel says, and by the way, we are recasting T'Challa?
Boom! Haymakers back and forth. Boom! Snyder fans come back. Recast T'Challa fans come back to Marvel. Now we got actual. That would, you know what that would do? It would save the superhero genre. It would save the superhero genre from falling down behind horror and fantasy and everything else that is currently losing to in the box office.
Pattinson will be in his 40s if that movie drops young bats to an older bat. Oh yeah, that's exactly what they need. WCW versus WWF. The T'Challa thing, though, it's not happening.
Bringing the Snyderverse fans back from DC versus the recast T'Challa fans. I don't know who wins that, but that's a knockdown, drag them out, Hall H. We just knock your face off type of reveal. Old school SDCC.
They don't want to give the plot away. So if they say that T'Challa is going to be back, that would probably reveal something from Avengers Doomsday.
I don't think it would. They're still adapting Hickman's story, so it's not going to be a true one-to-one. You're just telling us that we're going to get a premiere version of whatever you're doing.
That's not giving the plot away because everybody, even the casuals know we're in the multiversal saga. So that doesn't give any plot away. It's a multiverse, and they know that this is a multiversal film.
They won't say that this is the one that Chadwick Boseman played. They won't say it's from another universe. They'll just say he's playing T'Challa. Okay.
I disagree, Mike. I think if Gunn is standing on stage with a happy Snyder, and that's going to lead to a project, I think the Snyder fans would fall in line. Absolutely. The majority, at least enough of them for the unity to be felt. Not every single person is going to be served in that marriage. Absolutely not. I think enough of them would come home, though, to make it feel like the DC family has been melded.
Yeah, it would work. It would be a great, but yeah, the T'Challa thing maybe would be bigger because the
Neck and
Snyder
neck.
cult.
I'm telling you, it'd be close.
The Snyder cult it just feels bigger because of our what's in front of our feeds, our algorithm, so to speak. Like I don't think that people really care about the Snyder cult stuff. If they did, Rebel Moon would have done way more successful. Snyder's not that big of a deal.
It's not Snyder cult outside of DC that is very palpable. It's the longing for Snyder's vision to continue within the DC machine. I think that's still palpable. So if you brought him back and he still had something that he could put his stamp on, I think that would re-energize what was left over from that movement.
He's got to be doing something considerable. He wouldn't just come back to do Squirrel Girl. He would come back.
Let him direct Brave and the Bold. Who do you have to direct Brave and the Bold?
Brave and the Bold, yeah. He did BVS, so that's another Batman movie, basically.
Yeah. Let him direct Brave and the Bold.
I think, Darius? I think that Marvel has more ammunition, though. If they really wanted to win it, they could. They just don't need to win it, and they should realize that this should be a down year. This should be the one where we talk about Wonder Man, and we know we understand. We talk about Ironheart, we know we get it. It's not going to be. We talk about how Doomsday has been delayed. I know, yeah, but maybe an X-Men casting here. They should just say. Maybe they should skip this Comic-Con.
I was about to say, you don't want to walk into Hall H talking about, I know.
Yeah, we know.
That sounds terrible.
Unless they recast T'Challa, that would be the biggest news. Like they can bring out his brother and say, "All right." Now, when I say his brother, I mean Chadwick Boseman's brother, and Derek can say, "We love Marvel. You know, one of the greatest characters and the inspiration that's provided that my brother got to play needs to continue. Please welcome to the Marvel family the new actor Damson Idris." And okay, the family likes it, so we like it.
Blade update for the 9th time.
Oh, they could do a Blade movie though, like right in between, the same way that there was an end credit scene in Infinity War, which hyped up Captain Marvel, and then we got that movie in between Endgame and Infinity War. You can do something with the end credits of Doomsday, which makes people care about Blade, and then you do a Blade $120 million budget. What was Sinners 90? You could do 120 million. You can triple that budget. You tell me you can't make a Blade movie gross $360 million at least? Yeah, you can. I think that would be the answer. Like that's when you sneak in your Blade movie.
But they got to bring Mahershala out to show that there's no beef. Like he has to be there, and he has to be excited about.
If he gets an apology. If he gets an apology, that would be huge.
But they don't care about black people like that. He ain't getting no fucking apology. And they'll be lucky if he's there and they actually have something to show us, like concept art of him in the suit at least. Like, do you have anything of this man dressed up as Blade at all?
Okay, Marvel could throw a Hail Mary. Imagine that something we're not even expecting, which the Iron Man video game that's being made by Motive, yeah, that's canon with the MCU. It'll actually explain why he's alive, and that could be the new and big announcement. There's some unknowns that they could be giving us.
Yeah, that would have worked a long time ago. I'm telling you, they're in a very precarious situation with the fans. That shit worked in the Infinity Saga. That shit won't work now. Hey guys, this video game ties in where people are excited, like, oh great, I get more Marvel. Nobody's in that era. Nobody's in that era right now. No one.
So they're not going to get amped for Vision Quest, X-Men 97 season 2.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
About Vision Quest? You know what's crazy? You know I'm the anti-Marvel guy. I ain't reviewing no Marvel shit. They casted Jocasta, the android.
Oh yeah, they got a black woman to do it. See my thoughts about a Martian Manhunter.
She doesn't emulate a black woman in the comics.
See my comments about the Martian Manhunter.
No, but I'm saying like the human that she emulates to like disguise herself in the comic books is a black woman, right?
It changed later. Yeah, not originally, but yes.
Oh, they changed it. Okay, all right, cool. Whatever. I don't know. I thought that was pretty interesting, but again, I don't think anybody's going to give a shit about that, because nobody's checking for Vision 5 years after WandaVision.
You know, I said the same thing.
Shit.
I said the same thing in my stream the other night, but you still have those. I said you have the people that are still like, you know, watched Agatha, that are like, hey, we know they're going to go get Tommy. Plus you've got the draw of Ultron in this as well.
Blue has some interesting stuff to say about the Iger versus Feige dynamic. It's seeming like Iger wants to stay relevant in a more spectacle type fashion, as
Kevin
opposed
Feige
to
wants to
Kevin
be grounded,
trying to tell these well thought out stories. He want to be in an Oscar crowd so bad, man. I don't think he know where he work at anymore. I don't think.
But that's one of the points I made in the tweet that I said today as well. Like, it's spectacle. Like, yeah, again, in the Infinity Saga, the post-credit scene that has leaked for Fantastic Four would have gotten people excited. That's not big enough. It's not spectacle enough. It's not. And for Josh, for back on this, Jen and Nerds, when he posts on Twitter today talking about how the post-credit scene easily makes Fantastic Four 500 million. We're in a day. That's what he said. That's his tweet. We're in a day and age.
$500 million before.
We're in a day and age where post-credit scenes are going to be on Twitter the exact same day that someone goes and views it. So what is the draw for me to then pay upwards from $20 to go see this movie for the post-credit scene? So people are, I'm telling you, they need to be worried. I don't know if bringing they thought, hey, let's get a name like Pedro and this and this. Worried.
DC in 5. They win.
You picking DC at the Hall. So then do they win July in the box office too?
Oh, yeah.
I think they
feel like if they're winning, if they win Hall H, then they, well, first of all, neither one of those studios
in the box office
world.
But they will beat each other.
In the box office, they will beat each other. In Hall H, I still don't think DC beats Marvel. But when it comes to the box office, Superman versus Fantastic Four, I just don't see I'm not seeing it online. People are just not. I don't know.
It's hard to call between Fantastic Four and Superman. If I had to call it right now, I'd say Fantastic Four is closer to beating their expectations than Superman. I think a lot of the positive talk from Superman is coming from individuals who aren't going to say anything bad about it. They've decided that every negative take about James Gunn's Superman is in bad faith, and therefore they don't have to jockey with it. They don't have to respond to it in good faith because it was born out of bad faith. Is their decided reaction towards it. So the things to be criticized at this film probably won't be criticized until the general public lays their eyes on it. So in that way, it's hard to track them. I don't really know how to put a finger on it because I don't feel like the people who are saying that this movie is, it's going to make $1.5 billion. My ass. It's going to make $1.5 billion.
Superman?
Yeah.
Probably unlikely, but $1 billion if it's really good. It's Superman, yeah.
God, the only superhero films that are making $1 billion nowadays are the ones where people know what they're going to get. We have no freaking clue what we are going to get from James Gunn's Superman. It would have to be phenomenal in the word of mouth to make that amount of money off of the first one. Who has ever cracked in their first installment into a franchise at $1 billion?
He's above your head.
Well, that guy, but nobody else. I'm sorry, Captain Marvel.
Oh, good point. Well, yeah, but we don't have those circumstances for Superman.
Sure.
Yeah.
DC in 5.
Yeah.
You know what Marvel would have to do? They'd have to say, our first movie after Secret Wars in 2027, our first movie coming after that is X-Men. If they could say that, what else you got? And then Spider-Man's coming back. No, maybe Sony would announce that. Never mind. They would have to say like Nova and the Guardians and things that we want to hear, but that's not coming.
MCU wins Hall H, and I think that they beat Superman by a little bit, though. I think that those films are very similar in box office production.
I cannot wait for July. I don't think I've ever been more interested for box office numbers for a film than these two films.
July is packed.
To Zen-san, who says Midnight Suns announcement would draw hype and make sense, I'm going to vomit in my mouth. A Midnight Suns would mean the Blade movie isn't happening, and he'll just be a featured on a team.
Yeah, I kind of hate that too. But the
are we not all in agreement that Blade's not happening?
Yeah, I just don't want to. But I mean, like, the news would suck.
Oh well,
I expect nothing from them, but the confirmation would suck.
I'm not saying they're announcing Midnight Suns at the SDCC, but I think that's the thing. I think he's just they're gonna say, okay,
he's
no
just
more
part
solo
of the Midnight Suns now.
Yeah, we're gonna put you in the Midnight Suns.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I think.
But let's keep that in our memories. This Comic-Con discussion of who will win it, and Darius said Marvel wins it. Jill says DC wins it. Loser has to wear a basketball jersey from the other guys' team. I don't know. What do you want the loser to do? I don't know.
I mean, y'all betting. It doesn't sound like it at all.
I don't know. I agree with what Raymond said, though. Not really on topic. He said Midnight Suns is not going to make anybody hype, but Midnight Suns fans. I agree. We are in a stage of Marvel that shit is.
Cut hair. Cornelia said, "Cut hair."
It is just not going to work.
Okay, so Marcus has to decide who actually won. You could be the neutral party and say, "Nah, the winner of Comic-Con was so and so."
Cool.
Yeah, deal.
Oh, Cornelia. Okay, that's interesting. So Chill has to cut his hair. Darius has to do his string without the hat.
Just get that hat off of you.
Got to do one string without the hat.
You really believe in Marvel?
Deal?
That's fine with me. I don't see DC. DC's not winning All H.
Bet. Oh, this is a real bet. I like this now. I like it.
Yeah. Let's get these supers.
I've been boozy since I left. I ain't changing for a chick. Tell my mind I ain't forget.
Lilo and Stitch and the Inside Out 2 box office made Disney realize they need to focus on family movies over Marvel stuff.
Okay, that's not necessarily a terrible take. I just don't know how it translates to the superhero genre.
Disney has 12 slots a year for a movie, and they'll fill more of those with the Disney, the remakes and the
right. How does that help the MCU though? Like, we're not pitching MCU family films.
Just that there will be less.
Fantastic Four will be one, hopefully, but
did you see the way that Vanessa Kirby has like a corset and the
I don't.
It's not family friendly, bro.
I don't even think it's like that's a separate, its own genre. That's not Marvel's issue. That's not their issue. It's not that it's not attracting family eyes. It's not attracting eyes.
Is it that the family oriented films are doing better, and so now families are opting to see the things that are maybe gravitating towards a lower age group, but you can still get everybody interested in seeing it, like Lilo and Stitch?
Maybe this could just be me maybe not thinking that deeply into it. I think people in the audiences are just like seeing what looks good to them, seeing what they want to see. Lilo and Stitch is, for all intents and purposes, of first millennials. There was way more adults in my theater than kids. So,
I mean, think about some of the family oriented movies that have come out that are gauged towards a younger audience, like Sonic or Mario Brothers. Wild Robot was really impressive. It's I guess I would call it a resurgence, because there was a time when studios were leading with their family content. They were leading with their animated content. If you didn't have an animated studio, you were scrambling to find one until Disney bought them all up. So maybe we're returning to a different time where horror and children's family content is leading the day.
Lilo and Stitch and Thunderbolts came out roughly the same time, and this weekend, dads across America said, we're going to choose Lilo and Stitch over Thunderbolts. They came with their son and their daughter, walk in. I'm holding their hands. That's what I'm doing. They're holding hands. Let's go. Get out the car. We're going to choose Lilo and Stitch. Now, that's dad, right? He has enough say to go, we're watching the Marvel movie. So if that was the X-Men movie, Lilo and Stitch would have been affected because more people wanted to see X-Men on that free Memorial Day weekend.
Sorry, I disagree. I'm not saying it would have beat X-Men or anything like that, but I do think Lilo and Stitch still would have done the same numbers. I think what Disney's issue is with their live action, even though the live action stuff that they changed in here is absolute shit, but the things that work for Lilo and Stitch, the beat for beat things, it was phenomenal. I mean, as a millennial that grew up watching some of these, Lilo and Stitch is by far one of my favorite Disney animated films. So I don't know. I think Lilo and Stitch would have had the draw regardless. It had a TV series, went on to have, Stitch has a glitch, Leroy, and you went on. You had a lot more Stitch content. So I think Stitch would have done well regardless.
It was that sandwich making game with the yellow one.
Yeah,
that shit forever at school.
Yeah, I think Stitch would have done good regardless. Now, once you get in the theater and you see the changes, I like them, you might not.
Bitch better have my money. Play down, call me on my blood. Pay me what you want me.
David Cornsweet is a Star Wars the nerd. They don't need to get him out there more in front. They need to get him out there more in front. They are using the Barbie marketing team, so that will work for them. I don't think Barbie's marketing team helped. I think it being Barbie, big, huge IP, Margot Robbie with the casting was like the most effective thing. I don't know about
but they've never broached it in the film, so that is kind of uncharted territory for a company like Hasbro and definitely a brand like Barbie, because you've just never seen it go that way. So yeah, it is a popular brand, but there was no guarantee that was going to work on the big screen. Oh, hold on. Gotta let the dog out my room.
I don't doubt that David Cornsweet is going to be up present and he's going to be like a household name by the time we get to July 11, and especially after. I think we don't want to get sick of him, so maybe they're not going to do all of the things that you may be looking for of getting David Cornsweet in front of camera.
He is a Star Wars nerd.
And like Ryan Reynolds, is he going to write a script for them?
No, he actually is a Star Wars nerd. Like he can, not like Ryan Reynolds. Oh, you mean like Ryan Reynolds is to Deadpool? Sorry.
Ryan Reynolds wrote a script for Star Wars. It is going to be an R-rated movie.
He wrote a script for Star Wars. Lucasfilm is not going to do shit with that. I don't think Star Wars ever needs to do a horror film, but I don't think that they are ever going to do a horror film. But Cornsweet, he can tell you, like, he can listen to the music from Star Wars and tell you exactly where and when that's coming in the he did it on video, where it's coming in the movie and what scene's happening, and he can give the dialogue behind it.
All right.
So nowadays they can call me old fashioned, but it's way too much care to see blue light flashing. So I guess
if Superman does well, the Batman 2 film is dead. If Superman does poorly, the Batman 2 gets fast-tracked.
That makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense because the DC brand, really, especially the studio, goes as far as those two characters take them. It's Batman and Superman. And so if Superman is proving not to be able to carry the studio, they for damn sure are going to make sure he gives a good hearty swing to Batman to see what's going on here. Honestly, to be truthful, Michael, it may not even get there. It may not even get there. That credit rating downgrade means a lot. I think it's going to show in how skinny they get on their productions coming up here in coming years. if you're not able to secure as much funding, which is what that means, it's going to show up somewhere. And so if Superman doesn't prove to be the moneymaker that I'm sure Gunn has promised them it will be, if they give him another chance to go at it, it will be with Batman, and it will be with a much heavier influence from the money people at Warner Brothers, as opposed to just letting James Gunn run free and do his thing.
I agree. I think once David Zaslav sees what the Superman movie gets in July 11, by the time we get to Comic-Con on July 26th, Hall H, we will know that James Gunn is a master at movie making, and he knows him and Peter Safran can be trusted.
It's crazy. He was getting ready to have DeLuca and Abdi's job at Warner Brothers. They were getting ready. He was getting ready to leapfrog them and be the man at Warner Brothers, not just DC, at Warner Brothers. And then they shit out Minecraft, and all of a sudden now his butt's on the line. This is crazy. What a crazy twist of fate.
Sinners is still making money. I saw it made like $1 million yesterday, and probably gonna get like what, 4 or 5 million on the weekend again. Who knows?
Good for them. It's coming on digital. I'm sure it'll do very well there. Like I think it's like Tenet is the only other one that has the true IMAX ratio in digital. It's one of the only 2 films on a streaming service that has the true IMAX ratios. So shout out to them.
Kobe.
Go ahead.
Say it.
I was talking to Blue. He was talking about that with Saffron. The reports was it was going to be James Gunn who's going to be president or was going to be replacing DeLuca and Abdi.
Now, maybe I think he's right. It was Peter Safran, not James Gunn.
According to your boy, it was James Gunn they were eyeing to replace him. That's according to Den of Nerds. That wasn't my thing.
Marvel doesn't appreciate Black Panther. They'd speed up Blade before they make Black Panther their savior. No? Who knows, bro? The video game just got canceled, and it was a video game that wasn't T'Challa. Maybe they've come to, and they've got like 2 months until they can announce that at Comic-Con, and we can all feel great about it and feel successful in our advocacy of returning T'Challa to a screen and not the child of Nakia. But yeah, who knows, bro? Who knows?
If they do it at the same time as Zack Snyder coming back into the DC fold, that would be a adrenaline punch to the superhero genre. I don't think people really appreciate where this is at. You know, when Marvel puts out a movie and they do a fan screener a week before, they're extremely confident.
Yeah.
They're extremely confident. They thought that movie was going to make some money. They thought Thunderbolts was going to tear down the house, and it didn't.
Thunderbolts.
So that on top of Captain America, on top of the middling results from their television shows, you understand that Daredevil, a brand that just 5 years ago was dominating on a whole different streaming service, dominating. And all of a sudden, you bring it up, you beef up the budget, you bring back all the characters, you rework it after you realize you screwed it over. And honestly, this is my tinfoil hat theory about what happened with Daredevil Born Again. I think Jon Bernthal ruined Daredevil Born Again. I think he ruined it, and here's why. So, without reviewing the series, there were some things in there about the cops that Jon Bernthal didn't prefer to be included in relation to how Frank was going to react to them, which is crazy because what he ends up doing to him is fucking, it's nuts. If that's what you were just going to do to him, it really didn't matter how they were depicted. But him reworking that narrative about the police officers in Daredevil Born Again, I think really affected the story, the plot. And so it felt like, once again, Kevin Feige's thing, we're dripping things. We're telling a very grounded story. We're not delving into political issues as deeply as maybe we should if we're going to take these angles with these characters, i.e. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think he dulled down some of the overt political nature in the show in relations to police officers because he just didn't want to be seen as bashing cops. And so they placated to him and they stripped all the controversy out of the show. And it didn't even chart. It didn't even chart. Agatha charted. She-Hulk charted. Miss Marvel charted. Daredevil did not. Guys, the audience is dwindling. How is Superman going to make $1 billion where he's never made $1 billion before today when Daredevil can't get on the top 10 of the Nielsen ratings, which y'all know how I feel about Nielsen ratings. I don't think it's truly representative. But if we go and pick a measure, I mean, it's the most accurate one that we got, I guess.
Andor made 821 million minutes watched on Disney Plus, and I think 10th place was a 659 million minutes. So for put that in perspective, Daredevil did not have this many minutes watched for Daredevil Born Again.
There were more geriatrics watching NCIS than there were people watching Daredevil Born Again. That's embarrassing. It's embarrassing because at least they could get people to sit down and watch She-Hulk to at least give it a chance. People have checked out.
Different era. We are out of that era. Yeah,
did Man still make $1 billion?
Did who?
What Superman movie made $1 billion that I'm missing? Did Man of Steel make $1 billion?
Still only made 6.
Yeah, I don't think there's a Superman movie that ever. And I know the Reeves.
If you adjust for inflation, yeah, then
that's not what we're doing. I'm not playing that game. If it didn't make $1 billion, it didn't make $1 billion.
I don't think adjusting for inflation is that devious. I think it's worth saying that if you adjust.
It's not. I don't think it's. Titanic came out in the early 90s. It actually made $1 billion, not adjusted for inflation.
Yeah,
it actually made $1 billion.
That's a terrific job. But
Star Wars, actually, the original trilogy actually made $1 billion, not adjusted.
I'm pretty
for
sure
inflation.
they didn't.
I said the original trilogy, the first 3.
I'm certain. What you mean, all 3 when you add them together?
Like when you put them together, yeah. I'm saying, I don't even did the Reeves Superman. Well, there's like 5 of them though, so that's not fair. I don't see it. I don't see it. You could disagree. I don't see that in 2025, where people's appetite for superhero films is where it is, that there's $1 billion Superman market out there.
Okay.
Don't see it.
Darius, want to answer Michael Nemo's thing about will they rather do a Blade than they would do a Black Panther?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like they don't want to do either. I mean, is that not evident?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they're not going to do. They don't want to do anything.
Let's keep it. Will. Should have been like the Raid and R-rated. They should have had a Chinese release and it would have been perfectly fine. I don't think the rating was.
But they're not taking those type of risks though, right? Like maybe we should have delved into the whole black man as Captain America issue a little bit deeper if you're going to make a black man Captain America. But it's no surprise that when you hide from those things and you don't tell the story, that it affects it.
Yeah.
True.
What's next? We want to get to the wizarding world. We're going to go across the pond, eh? We're going to go to Avada Kedavra land, are we? Hagrid, you're a wizard, Harry. Are we going to Hermione? Hermione Granger, you need to get your priorities straight. No, that was Ron said it. She said, you're going to get killed or worse, expelled. And then Ron said she needs to get her priorities straight. With a little time turner. The mudblood in it. Harry. Yeah, I'm stalling so I can find the article here.
Find the article. No. I like the casting so far. I think they all are.
I don't give a damn about the other castings. I'm here to talk about Arabella Stanton's multiracial background makes a Harry Potter scene more disturbing than Snape's bullying. The clickbait has begun. This is written by Kritika Mukherjee.
I'm okay.
What a great title.
It is so easy to find when people are grifting, though, because this is the one that's going to have uncomfortable. Like, are y'all? What are you talking about? Like, I can barely see that this girl is I barely see that she's biracial. Like, if I squint my eyes and pay attention to the slight bit of melanin she's got in comparison to Alan Richardson, R.I.P., right? Like, yeah, you can tell that maybe she got a little something else going on. That is the one that's going to have the uncomfortable. It's not the snow bunny chasing Black Snape who's going to be bullying poor Lily White Harry all throughout the show. That's not the uncomfortableness, right? It's the God, Jesus Christ.
I think that both are, because this one too. She's gonna be getting called filthy little mudbloods and all types of stuff. So I agree. Both of them are both, especially if they do the flashbacks and show him getting bullied. The only black kid in the school getting bullied. This is gonna be
for his appearance. Your big ugly nose, your greasy hair. You're going to say that about a black man in Harry Potter? What the hell is happening? What is happening? And that's going to be the uncomfortable. No. That's not going to be uncomfortable. This is the uncomfortable conversation that we're going to have about a biracial Hermione being called a mudblood. I don't know what we're doing. But it's going to be interesting to see the internet discourse over what I'm saying. Oh my God, it's going to go crazy. It's going to be disgusting. Going to lose his mind. Y'all thought that he went off about the water Mexicans in Wakanda forever. Wait till he gets a load of Black Snape.
Discussing Film had to turn off their comments on this post again because
I bet they did. They did.
People being racist in the comments and things like that. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it comes out. I do see the everything going on with it, but I'm just ready to see the show. I'll be interested to see the show. Here for the show.
1/16. Is that the breakdown here? That Arabella is 1/16 black?
I hate white y'all for this. Y'all started it with.
We didn't start this. Them colonizer slavers started that. They started that shit. That one drop.
We opened up the door with the Haley Steinfeld conversation. Now everybody
closed that door
because you
can't open that door. She is what she is. You can't be upset if a person's.
You're doing it. You're doing it. You can't be mad at Arabella if you're accepting of it for Haley Steinfeld. Haley Steinfeld is not black. I don't know how many times I have to scream that into this microphone, but being 1/16th something doesn't make you that. Okay? And
being 1/16th of
with
something.
This conversation with now she's 1/16th. What is she biracial with? What is it?
I'll find out. It's probably somewhere in this article to find out exactly where her parents are from.
Okay,
it's coming.
Lord,
but whatever her parents are from, that's what she is.
We just gonna one drop rule this shit all the way home.
It's not a rule or one drop. Obviously, she's gonna go through monitor. She's gonna experience a life of a person who is slightly melanated, and she'll be treated like that when she's being profiled by whoever news she meets. That's her experience. Her lived experience will be that.
It's her lived experience now. They are doing it to her now, and this is a child. They're doing it to her now.
I think it's the context of the situation that's making it so, though. It's the Harry Potter fandom of it all that's making her experience it. I can't imagine. Well, you know what? Let me not discount her experiences. I don't know this individual. I don't know her. I don't know her experience.
Well, it's not. We don't have to be specific on her. We can just talk specifically about people who are 1/16th.
Right. I mean, but naturally, most people who are 1/16th are going to be phenotypically the opposite direction of whatever that 16th.
What does that word mean? Phenotypically?
Visually, how they look, how they present to other people, to the dominant power structure that is white supremacy. If she's that close, she's probably passing. She's going to be okay.
Understood. Agreed. Haley Steinfeld.
Okay, well, Culture Made, your potato salad at your cookout has raisins in it. So I'm not coming either.
Arabella Stratton's ethnicity will fit the narrative of Hermione fighting for minorities. But let's flip through the pages of J.K. Rowling novels and look at the bright side, because Arabella as Hermione might actually be the most book-accurate casting of them all. Why? Because Hermione Granger was a fighter for the underdogs. They're stretching. Wait. Pure blood supremacy. Hermione got it. She understood what it felt like to be an outsider. Can I get to the part where it tells me where her parents are from, please?
Does this article do that? Tell you where?
I thought it did. I thought it was going to talk about that from the title. She's multiracial. I'll find it. Somewhere on the internet. It'll say exactly where she's from.
Well,
I don't think they're prepared, y'all. I think they thought maybe they were doing a good thing. Maybe they were doing something that was going to keep them in the conversation. I don't really think that they thought a lot of this through. And I think, unfortunately, the early stages of this show will get bogged down in a lot of social conversation that has nothing to do with the show. It will be incumbent on them to write through that and write good enough content that, kind of like the first season of Last of Us, right? I think that they too walked head into a lot of social issues that they didn't necessarily think were going to derail them. And it didn't, because the first season of that show was written above those social issues, right? It came along with it, but it didn't bog it down to the point where that was all we were talking about. They kind of lost it. I don't know if it was the social issues that dragged them down in the second season, but they lost sight of story first, for sure. It's going to be very hard for them to do that here in this series, because of it's just very glaring or spicy. Cornelius stroked me. He's getting on my nerves.
Okay. It says here, while her ethnicity has not been revealed, we do know she is talented and facing an uphill battle. Just looking at the girl's face, see how melanated that she is. Her name is Arabella. That sounds somewhere Spain, Mexico. That I don't see.
No, just let this little girl act.
They're saying the actor's ethnicity has not been revealed.
Yeah, but that's, how do you say that? You just don't know the answer to that question. You can't say it hasn't been revealed.
Yeah, that sounds weird. You mean you're hiding it? You're keeping it on lock and key.
You just don't know
where her identity from the internet.
You've never heard that, Raymond?
If I go off of her face, though, that's not what Hermione Granger looks like. Go look at the cover for the 7th book, and Hermione's not that dark. But if I go by Warner Brothers and their inclusion and how percentage of what our show's got to be enough of people of colors, then I can see why they did it. I can see also why they changed Snape. And it looks like while they removed those things from their website internally, they still have to abide by their inclusion. You know, not everyone can be white, because we're in 2025, and so they think they're doing something progressive, but there is no progress, because Hermione Granger will be featured as white in the next Harry Potter thing. It might not be this year. Maybe it's going to be 10 years after the show is finished and they do a Harry Potter game. Hermione's going to return to being a white character.
Also, let me ask you another question, because I guess I've never really looked at it this way. If we're viewing this from a lens of they're trying to, get their inclusion standards checked off, is it not an extra slap in the face of that group you're trying to represent, that you're doing it while also, I guess I'm trying to say this in a non-weird way. Let's say we're checking the box of Latino representation with the Hermione Granger character,
rather than give a Latino character.
Right. So now we're going to pick a biracial girl to fill that role and let that be our Latino representation, as opposed to casting a full-blown Latino person or for a Latino character.
Yeah.
Like, is that not a extra slap in the face?
It's a big school. There's 4 houses. We could have a Latino in Hufflepuff and get some plot for Hufflepuff during this show.
That's always something that felt like maybe I needed to read the books for a little bit more, but the wizarding world seemed to only exist in the UK for some reason.
No, they had a Russian
until
school
we got
Victor
to
Crumb.
Fantastic Beast, we didn't know that there were wizarding. Well, you knew in Goblet of Fire, but like that there was an American wizarding school. Why was there no American participants in the Goblet of Fire? You know what I mean? Like, you really started building on that and the idea that they are practicing magic in other parts of the world. Hogwarts ain't ain't segregating themselves. I wouldn't think. I would think that wizards are a little bit above racial segregation. That certainly hasn't come up in Harry Potter at all. So it's possible to do this without doing what they're doing to get there. It's absolutely possible to have Black wizards, Hispanic wizards, wizards from other backgrounds with melanated people without changing the white characters to be Hispanic or to be Black.
It appears progressive without the progression. And everyone who's on the side of diversity and representation, they're all, can you believe how people don't want Arabella to be the Hermione? What are they talking about? Her hair is frizzy, isn't it? And they're kind of championing a studio who isn't going to put forward a character who's not white. Instead, they'll just race swap and they skate by. And meanwhile, I'm going here like nothing was launched. No IP was launched of that demographic. We're not better off in the future. They'll just race swap Hagrid next time and make Snape white, and they'll fulfill their the same characters in the Harry Potter mythos without actually introducing a character in the long term and solidifying a job and solidifying representations. That's Harry Potter for you, bro. That's the game. Not sure if you know, but in the HP Broadway show Cursed Child, Hermione has been played by a Black actress for a while.
Yep.
Well, was this a Black actress that we saw here? This little.
That's kind of the point we're making, right? Like, when they do that, it is literally only for a short period of time and probably only for the medium that it's appearing in. It doesn't propagate. It doesn't spread. It doesn't give the opportunity for actors who want to perform in a Harry Potter series from here for the rest of time to have a role to do that in forever. That is the biggest reason why we felt like it was a slap in the face for Ryan Coogler to do what he did with T'Challa, because you took a spot for a A-list Black actor to play, many A-list Black actors to play in perpetuity at a media giant like Disney off the board because of your feels. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. We had an opportunity to open up that door to an infinite amount of Black men from here for forever. And you took it off the board because. So that's the difference in what we're talking about for these kind of opportunities, like the lady who's playing Hermione in the Broadway show, like, Yahya Abdul-Mateen, a guy who was being dubbed as the next one Black male actor, taking a race swap to be in a Marvel project. It's lesser, it's demeaning, it's just not what you want.
Chill, calm down, brother. We're not checking for Hermione or Snape anyway. Well, because the castings of Hermione and Snape were changed to not white people, now whatever you were looking for won't happen because we already have a black character. What do you mean, Snape? He's in all the scenes. Take spots. There's a school located near Uganda for like Africans, so I guess there's that. I think Bulgaria had a school as well, and we're not gonna get.
Did they show up? Like, did we see them?
Well, remember in Goblet of Fire there were 3 schools.
Mm-hmm.
There, one of them was Hogwarts, but the other 2 showed up.
No. I mean the ones from Uganda or wherever you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't even. This is news to me. I don't know.
Oh yeah. I didn't see it.
From.
I didn't see it.
They weren't that important.
No.
The African Wizarding School is proclaimed to be the largest school and the most powerful since they're more in tune with magic. Why not make African students from there? Hey, maybe there's going to be a spin-off.
Where are you getting this lore? Is that from the books?
Maybe there's going to be a different world version of this. The Game of Thrones has a couple of series that are going on. So maybe while Harry Potter has an off year, they're going to do the African school. If it's super successful, I don't see why they wouldn't. Actually, I do racism. But
where are y'all getting this information? See, I got to read the books. I have to read the books because
it's not in the book.
Like
as a book reader, if it's in a book, it's like 2 pages. I don't remember it. That's not significant to the Harry Potter plot.
But like, how do they know all that information about it if it doesn't get fleshed out? Where does it get fleshed out? Like maybe the game are y'all getting this from the Hogwarts Legacy game?
She's done expanded material, and there's encyclopedias, aren't there? Okay. That's probably where this is from.
Hillman College was wizarding. Shout out to
yeah. Well, with the other 2 though, there are 2 other actors. They got a redhead kid. I wish him the most success. He's not too experienced at acting compared to Dominic, compared to the white guy who's playing Harry Potter. I want what's best for all of them. I think they need to be media trained and protected and not allowed to be on social media. That would be great for their mental health. We can look at Jake Lloyd and we can look at a lot of, that's even before social media technically, but we can look at a lot of child actors who've fought this battle for them. So they need to be protected. I think, bro, the show is not cooked just because they race swapped Snape and Hermione. It's still going to be a success.
It will be a tougher road to success. I do think it's a large enough IP that it's hard to see it fall completely on their face. Although we have seen another very long storied historied IP kind of take a similar stance in how they were going to represent themselves on the small screen. And it didn't necessarily go well. And they spent a bunch of money on it. Talking about Rings of Power from Lord of the Rings. Right? Like it's pretty comparable to what we're talking about now with Harry Potter in terms of longevity, in terms of, different types of media. And they went away with making one of the key characters in the original series, they gender bended the character. Didn't necessarily go well in terms of viewership for the series, so it's going to be tough. I do think it's going to be complicated.
There's a whole thing on the school.
A whole what?
History.
They're telling me Hogwarts Legacies is kind of fleshes it out. Heimdall, Allseer, telling me, appreciate it.
Yeah, the history of the school and everything here. It is the same age as Hogwarts.
We can explain that the school is
all types of other stuff.
Then they can have. You're gonna go with Quidditch team in the Quidditch championship game. Then let's work on that. Then let's work on fleshing that. Is that then that's got to be where Snape is from, right? It has to be. Snape's got to be from there, right?
He was a Slytherin.
Well, no. Oh, that's what house he joins when he gets to Hogwarts. But I'm saying, oh, okay, I see.
He was Slytherin even. When
he was Slytherin. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so he started at Hogwarts.
Hey, the picture that they posted of the 3 kids together, revealing the 3 kids together at once, kind of protects Hermione, the actress for Hermione. Like, I know that the majority of the focus is going to be on her, and Arabella is going to be, I don't know where she is in the world right now, but I hope she's away from the internet. She's on a camping trip or something. I hope they planned it that way. I hope that they're only feeding her articles from like the news articles who aren't doing some of that clickbait stuff. And I hope her reality is that everyone is receiving this information greatly. I hope they're protecting her, but I like to reveal that so all three at once. So if someone wants to cover this Harry Potter news without bringing up the race of the race cat swap of this cast, then they can. And I still think it's wrong, but like, yeah, protect the kids. I guess gotta.
Facts.
How old are they? What do they look like? 10, 11?
10. Yeah, maybe 10.
That's how old they're supposed to be, though. Steve says, was how they revealed the OG trio from the movies? I don't remember that long ago. Okay.
The picture. It's crazy. I had my yearbook from 1999. In the back of it, it had all the promo for the new films that were coming out in the new millennium, because obviously the turn of the millennium was the theme of the yearbook, right? There is promotional shots in there from the first Spider-Man movie, from the first X-Men movie, because they were still working on that, and then Harry Potter had been cast, and so they had shots of Daniel Radcliffe and Emma and I can't think of whatever Ron's name is, but all three of them were in there in the picture in the back of the yearbook. I still have that yearbook. It's crazy.
That was a different time.
Damn, all three kids' social media got deactivated when the news broke. Jesus.
Great.
Smart parents.
Jesus. They can't even enjoy a little bit of the positive, but I guess you would have to wade through all the filth to get to the positive, so makes sense.
Are we hyped for the series? I am. I'm interested. Like, there's not much things that I want to watch more than a Harry Potter live action series.
Like a car crash, man. I want to see how it plays out. I want to see how it goes.
Okay.
Yeah. If for nothing else, to see how bad the controversy gets, I think it's a must watch.
Darius, are you hyped for this new series?
Yes, I am. I'm ready to see it. I'm a big Harry Potter fan, so I'm ready to see it.
It's good to have something else to be interested in. Stranger Things is coming to an end. There's no more.
It needs to. Them kids old. The little Caleb McLaughlin's little sister just graduated from high school. Like the annoying girl that's always snitching on them. She's a grown ass woman now. They need to wrap this shit up.
Yeah. Lots of big shows, but nothing's really replacing it. So there's that. Let's get into some super chats.
Get money, don't make no money. If I ever go broke, I'ma take your money. I ain't never drop a dime.
Should I watch the OG Harry Potter? Never seen any of them. That you got a great weekend. Yes, you watch them, and if you want to, go watch like Harry Potter reviews of other YouTubers who've done. This is my first time watching, and like live through that movie with that person, and you can be like, oh, that's what they're focusing on. That's what they're paying attention on. Good to know. I'm gonna get into the second movie, and then you go back to that content creator and you watch that video again, like a 10-minute breakdown. And yeah, you can have a lot of fun watching an old movie, and they're good. So, and you know, they kept making them. They made 7-8 movies, so you should, yes, 100%
should. I've always found that the rewatch of Harry Potter movies goes better on around holidays, but that's rewatch. You would be watching it for the first time, so I say go for it.
Yeah, you definitely should. It is a completely different world. Wild ride.
Yeah, thanks, Brian Fisher. Next one. You guys are gonna flip out when they cast Tom Riddle as Black. Voldemort?
Yeesh. So not only is the big nose greasy mug black,
the no-nose mug is black,
but the no-nose personification of evil Yeah, him black too. Yeah, no, I like it. I like it. Voldemort, Cornelius. Damn it. Talking about who?
Michael thinks he's cute with the little wink. We're gonna flip out when they cast Tom Riddle as black. All right.
You know what? No, because I mean it's all the same arguments. It's not gonna last. The next guy will be a white guy. A lot of things we got to explain as to why, like things change about him. I don't know. I was just saying it makes me feel a little bit better about the race swap if it's in such a prominent position. But even still, all the same problems still arise. You know.
One more.
You just mad cause your ass is old. First thing you do is just pick up the phone.
I'm gonna miss Inside the NBA with Shaquille O'Neal and everyone. Kiefer Sutherland, $2. Not watching the Fantastic Boar recute T'Challa. Now I could have read it properly.
Rescue
T'Challa. Sorry, rescue T'Challa. Ignore what I was gonna say. That's hilarious. Rescue T'Challa. I understand that reference. I think that was the thing that Darius's friend told him. Was with the rescue T'Challa thing.
Yeah.
It was rescue T'Challa to them.
Yeah. That is funny. I get it. I forgot.
There's something I want to say. And I'll keep it short. Recast T'Challa and pointing out that it's not the kid we're talking about is super duper important. That's all. I'll keep it short. The message is one and the same.
I mean, we should continue to convince our larger YouTube friends that
you're picking up what I'm putting down.
Yeah. We should convince our larger YouTube friends.
You think we can get a lot of these larger YouTube people with platforms to on July 1st tweet recast T'Challa?
I mean, I would hope so. I think I seen you interacting with one on said platform. So tag them and see what we get. I would just like the opportunity to just once and for all, like, hey, would you buy a Spider-Man comic if Mayday was Spider-Man? Would you buy it? Would you play a game? Would you go see a movie? Can you stop doing that for my favorite character? Appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, that's the message. That's it. Where we want to go to now? We did Thor, we did Black Panther, we did Harry Potter, did James Gunn, Netflix and Forever. Oh, okay, listen. Kids, romance in high school. We've got two. We knew each other when we were younger, and even our parents knew who we are. So now that we're dating each other, the parents kind of are happy for us. There's secrets. This is a great TV show, bro. If you want romance, go on Netflix and watch 8 episodes of a show called Forever, which is based off of a Judy Blume book. You have to see this show. If you're mad about representation, this is what I'm talking about. Like, both parents have jobs. They're like successful. And at least the boy who's in the show, he lives like on top of like Beverly Hills. Like, he's got a great home with a loving family. And they're not stereotypes walking. And there's fatherhood scenes, both parents in the home. There's that shit. And then the troubles that these characters have are nerve-wracking. And not once is it like criminal stuff, They teased the police interaction once in this, and I was like, no, they've been building to it, and we didn't actually get it. And I was like, that was like episode 4, right?
I'm so glad that this show is getting a season 2. And I am even more glad that this show is getting a season 2 right as we're about to get another installment into Tyler Perry's fuckery. Unfortunately, it's starring Taraji P. Henson, and she's some downtrodden black woman. She on the preview, the poster of the film in a bonnet, getting out of her bed. Like, you can't make this shit up. But the juxtaposition, right? The fact that people are gravitating towards what we are being starved of proves to me, at least, I don't know if everybody else is picking it up, that it doesn't have to be the way that we always receive it for it to be successful. I am over the argument of only the negativity sells for us and positivity can sell to everybody else. That's bullshit. That is BS. And it can be successful the other way because it's proven, right? Like there's an infinite amount of media that builds up its patrons and their viewpoint of themselves, and somehow we work ourselves into these knots of why it can't be that way for us. So I'm happy for Forever. I'm glad it's doing well.
You know what attracted me, got my attention? Like, there was a scene that they put in on Twitter, and it was just like he was telling his parents his girlfriend's black, and they went, "What? No, really, Keisha? You know, we forget it. Yeah, you can go. You can play with your little girlfriend. You know, your mother, she really, really wants you to do well in school, but even more than that, she wants you to marry a black woman." And it was like a hilarious, basically. What's Forever? It's the name of this Netflix.
Stop letting Cornelius troll. He off the za tonight, or he off the drink. He's just trolling.
It's this Netflix show here.
I think he knows.
They're always on their phone and they're getting caught. Why is the door closed in your bedroom? Like this is like a great show. I can't show too much because Netflix, they're sensitive with their trailer and reactions and stuff, but it's solid. And and we're spoiling right now because you better have seen it by now. The big confusing.
Well, you don't got to do that. This is a binging show. There's people that haven't seen all the way through,
but
myself included.
You haven't seen it all the way through. My mistake.
I haven't seen it all the way through. Yeah.
You probably should have told me that in the group chat.
Well,
I wouldn't have started this.
It's all good. I didn't even know we were going to talk about it until I saw the header.
You guys see him just admit he doesn't read the group chat? I didn't even know until I saw the header.
Sorry.
I'll have to
try not to flog me on the stream.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to binge it then. I haven't seen it.
It's in the group chat. You guys could have said haven't seen it yet. Let's not do Forever. Let's wait till next week. All right, Iyanu, there we go. Lawrence, just let's keep things moving, everyone. Let's keep things moving. Watch Forever. It's solid. It's modern, and there's an underlining, like there's like a subplot. There's something negative creeping in the darkness, and it's gonna come into the light, and it weaves into every story plot. And you know what I'm talking about if you've seen the first episode. You can see the issue with So Iyanu is finished, and you can stream that on HBO Max.
Another one. Yeah, I haven't seen the finale yet, but I've seen the first 9 episodes. Another one that I'm glad is getting a renewal and an expansion on the IP. Shout out to Lions Forge for, again, taking the risk that everyone else seems to not want to take, just leaving the money on the table. You know what I mean? Like if things like, Encanto can be popular, if things like Moana can be popular, if titles like that can get people energized around was it Kim's Convenience, the longtime show that they had that just ended on Netflix, if things like that can be popular for those communities, why not us? Why not us? Why do I have to watch Power? Why do I have to watch The Shy? Shout out to The Shy, though. Shy's doing a good job. It's been running. But why do I have to watch things that promote criminality to see my people on screen?
That's a great thing about Forever, because Keisha lived in a very low-income neighborhood, but that didn't seem to matter to the whole entire show.
And yet I'm being begged to watch a show about a black girl who can go to MIT as a teenager and still has to find a way to make money through criminality. No, no, absolutely not.
That's why I'm not thrilled about the Eddie Murphy movie that he's got with Pete Davidson. It's a heist.
Keke Palmer is in that too.
Yeah, it's called The
like
Pickup.
that movie?
I don't like that movie. Did you see
Oh,
the
you
poster
don't
for
like
it?
it? I got you. Yeah.
You saw the poster for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
I'm actually sharing. I have it, but I haven't shared it. Here, there. The Pickup. These guys right here. This this criminal here. Oh, look at all the money that they've stolen. Yeah.
Which is crazy because Eddie Murphy has already done a heist movie with a cast full of white people, and it was much better than what I'm seeing we're getting from Pete Davidson and Keke Palmer. So I don't even know why we're running this concept back. We've done Money Heist. Money Heist was a hit. It had Ben Stiller in it, Gabby Sidibe, a whole cast full of white people. Why we needed to run this back, I don't know. It didn't really seem like we needed to rewatch this. Maybe do Money Heist too. Or bootleg Money Talks. Yeah. It seems like a rewashed concept.
Season 2 of Cross is coming out. Season 2 of Cross. Like, that's a solid man who's got a job. Yeah, we don't like that the mother is dead, but still there's a lot great that comes out of that show that we're gonna love.
Absolutely.
Darius, recommend something.
Never seen anything funny about him. I don't find Pete Davidson to be funny either. Never really been into the self-deprecating depression comedy.
Likewise.
Karate Kid Legends is coming out, and there's no black representation there. See, it was partial. Just there's not gonna be no Jaden.
Whoa, that's the one we were missing. There is the Karate Kid. That's karma, boy. That's karma. Jackie Chan out there talking about, please let us make another Rush Hour. That's how you know Karate Kid going bad. What do we like? Why? We've already talked about the logistics of it all. But I think the way that they did Jaden Smith, they are reaping their karma on the box office. So,
you guys seen Cobra Kai?
Yes.
Some haven't finished the series.
Are they dropping the ball on Cobra Kai, like from going from the finale straight to a movie in a few months? Have they not dropped the ball on that execution?
I thought that we were going to walk directly from Cobra Kai into Karate Kid, and the first sign that this film may not do what they wanted to do was when I learned that it wasn't going to be tied together directly, that it wasn't a step directly into the movie kind of thing. I think that is a mistake. I think that's a wasted opportunity.
Cobra Kai overstayed its welcome. Damn. Karate Kid's trash. Lots of negative reviews of it, but I like when reviews don't matter. I like when I watch and I see all this noise and chatter about what they got Thunderbolts is being not rotten, it's certified fresh, and then it just flunks. And then otherwise, I like when there's negative reviews for something, and then the people have spoken. They want to see what they want to see.
Minecraft.
They pay their dollars. Minecraft. But I love that. I like reviews not mattering anymore. Like, just let the people speak.
Or even box office, right? I think we check into the box office numbers a little bit too frequently, that because it starts to blur the lines in the conversation. I don't think box office performance necessarily directly relates to quality of film. And sometimes we blur the lines on that a lot with these conversations. And so I do think it is beneficial to have it in segments, right? Like, we can talk about the box office performance of a movie, leave that over there, and then talk about the overall quality in the film. I try not to assess or talk about numbers at all when I give reviews for films, for that very reason. It shouldn't affect what you're talking about in terms of what happened, how you feel about it, how it made you feel, and how you rate it overall.
Should give us Jaden Smith, no cap. Karate Kid, keep making the same first movie over again. Kick it, train, go on competition, wins in an unbelievable way. Stop making
movie. What is different about Jaden Smith's movie in this one, other than Ralph Macchio is there? What is different about
his training montage? Stop doing legacy sequels and do original ideas. Sinners was an original idea, and what did it gross? 350.
Yeah,
that's not that much. Nope.
It far outdid its budget. It exceeded expectations. And as far as entry point films go, starting out, I don't think it did too far off of what First Avenger did in terms of dollar amount.
Captain America?
Yeah.
Oh.
Didn't the first Captain America make around $400 million?
Probably.
So I mean, in terms of the first installment to your what I would assume is going to become a franchise, didn't do too bad.
Would he direct? Does he direct his next Sinners movie, his next vampire movie in that world? He didn't do Creed 2 or 3.
He did Creed 2. He didn't do Creed 3. Creed 3 was Michael B. Jordan's first crack at being the director.
Okay, Creed 2 was another director. He looked like David Diggs.
Oh.
Something staple?
I mean, I would. Creed wasn't his baby. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. Like, it was his baby, but not his IP. Sinners is his baby. So I think he would want to set the course on that a little bit more definitively before he hands it off to someone else.
Stephen Cable Jr.
That's who did Creed 2?
Yeah. If you want more original projects, go support them. Okay, that's kind of what I'm saying also, yeah. But realistically, they're not greenlighting many original projects. If we think of Moana, Zootopia that's coming out. If we think of, there's a new ballerina film, which is of John Wick. And the only reason they're getting at that budget is not because of Ana de Armas, it's because it's taking place in John Wick.
In John Wick universe, yeah, right.
Karate Kid, we've got, you know what, that Apple movie, F1, that's probably the most original movie, huge budget, well marketed. Yep. That's a movie we got to look out for. But How to Train Your Dragon's coming up also, and that's not original. We got Superman, Jurassic World, Fantastic Four in July. None of that is originals.
I think F1 looks pretty good. It's giving off Top Gun Maverick with cars.
He is doing X-Files. You're right. What a waste of... don't go into established IP like X-Files and dedicate your time. You can do anything you want to do.
Either bows out of that or asked to realign it so he can get working on Sinners too. I think he's much better in his own IP as opposed to, like you said, an established property. I think he's just setting himself up to take more wild swings with an established IP that's going to upset an established fan base. Why even step back into that? I think that's what he doesn't like about the Marvel situation. So why set yourself up for that again? You don't paint within the lines. You don't do well within established stuff where people already have expectations. So why even? I think it would be a much better pivot to just start working on Sinners too.
Mission Impossible is not doing numbers. So far, it's at 227 after a week, roughly 6 days.
Well, okay, so we just talked about it did have the highest opening of any of the installments in the franchise. I think it had 100 million after the first 7 days, or the first weekend. And again, it's jam-packed in the middle of a very busy summer schedule. I think what's dooming Mission Impossible, because I saw the movie, I think what's dooming it is the exorbitant budget, man. It is the amount of money that they spent on it. And I don't know if it's accurate, but if it's anywhere around $400 million, this thing's got to make well over $1 billion. It's got to make well over. Yeah, it's an unholy amount of money that they spent on this film. And I mean, if you think about it, how much do you think jumping out of an actual sub cost? How much do you think some of the things they did in this film actually cost?
Tom Cruise cost?
Yeah, like, who let this man spend $300 million making this movie?
No, I mean, how much is he getting paid for this movie? That he costs a lot.
Well, he costs a lot, but also we know the things we see in this film are actually happening. He is the stunt king. Like, he's not CGI in this stuff, and the amount of probably red tape he's got to cut through, nations he's got to talk to. He's shooting this shit in the middle of the ocean. Like this, it's expensive. Not to mention the people that he's got to convince and probably overpay to even do it because it's dangerous. I think they just spent too much. I think that's the crux of it. I don't think it has anything to do with, we were just talking about this, right? Box office doesn't speak to whether or not it was a quality film. Dead Reckoning Part 2 is a good film. It just costs too much to make.
Tom Cruise is like the last movie star we got.
Yep.
Henry Cavill, Michael B. Jordan. We've got some others.
Is Henry Cavill a movie star?
How well did
Like Tom
Argyle
Cruise
perform?
is? Like I hear you on Michael B. Jordan because he's occupying a space right now in Hollywood. Henry Cavill feels like he's played in some good movies. I don't know if he's a movie star.
Okay. Mission Impossible Final Reckoning budget is a multitude of things. It was COVID. No. He was doing COVID during, I think, Top Gun Maverick. That was his COVID movie.
All strikes, rewrites, and then they retooled the Dead Reckoning flop. It ballooned way more than it should. I mean, something made it go up that high. It doesn't really sound like it ever should have cost that much money. Yeah.
Liam says the movie was boring. RDJ only carries Marvel movies. People don't line up for his other stuff. Yeah.
Mission Impossibles or
okay. I could have sworn there was a Mission Impossible that came out already after the 2020 pandemic.
It came out last year. Came out last summer. So
did they shoot back to back?
Maybe that's what they're saying. Like they shot back to back, and that part of that was during COVID.
Okay.
And costs did explode during COVID in terms of filmmaking, so that could be part of it too.
No, 2023 is when it came out. Fine.
Okay, so little over a year. Yeah, we're halfway through 2025, so it was 15 months or so ago.
Yeah.
Y'all talking about Due Date? Due Date was a hilarious movie. How did we get on that in the chat?
Saying that Robert Downey Jr. doesn't have a draw outside of Marvel.
A box office draw?
Sherlock?
That would be the only one.
Oppenheimer, kind of, but it's not his movie.
That's not his movie, yeah. He's had good movies. It's not like they've been terrible movies. He's not Chris Evans. Although I did enjoy Gray Man. I probably in the minority about Gray Man. But he just hasn't really brought home the bacon. So no, I wouldn't consider him a movie. Well, he's a star in his genre. He's like William Shatner. William Shatner is a star as Captain Kirk. Outside of that, he's the pageant host in Miss Congeniality. So
I think Ryan Gosling is a star, and that's why they're using him in Star Wars.
Ryan Gosling is a star. Ryan Gosling is box office.
No, he's not box office. He had a movie with Emily Blunt that didn't do well last year.
But I think his body of work overall, La La Land, the Blade Runner movie, like he's got a lot of films that have made money.
Leonardo DiCaprio, I think everything he's in is like, he's in a movie.
Box office, absolutely.
Like he hasn't been in something in a little while now.
Although he just had a flopper.
He did?
The Scorsese film, did that not do, that didn't do anything at the box office? The one about the reservation that they were stealing from those people, from the natives, from the I'm trying to say the right word, from the indigenous.
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yes, there you go.
That was not last year though.
When did that come out? Was that 23 as well?
Yeah, and am I wrong to expect a movie a year from these guys? That's like a standard, right? No,
Well, I was
sometimes
just
you take a year
mentioning it
off.
because we
I think
said
he's
the
got a
same thing.
movie. He's about to star in something now with a bunch
Killers
of
of the Flower Moon 2023.
He's in that movie with The Rock. He's in another Scorsese film with The Rock, where The Rock's playing some Hawaiian mobster.
Okay, then.
Yep.
Yeah, then he's active. He's working right now. He's a star. Rock, I would say, was a star, but Baywatch, Pain and Gain, he had an era. Snitch, he was in things. San Andreas, and
Be
people came.
Cool. Fucking Rampage. He's had a lot of things that I think the studios expected to make more money because his face was on it, and it didn't turn out that way.
Yeah, but Black Adam still grossed $400 million, right?
They talked about Black Adam like a dog, and it outperformed every DCU film project so far since Gunn has taken over.
No, Black Adam made $393.
Has there been a DC film that's outperformed Black Adam since Gunn has taken over?
No, Aquaman made worse than $393. I know that one.
Blue Beetle, Flash,
Christmas release. No, maybe I'm wrong about that one. Hold on, Aquaman 2, $439. Never mind, I was wrong.
Yeah,
$439.
And we know the Flash didn't. We know the Flash didn't.
200 million. 271.
Blue Beetle.
Yeah, that one was bad. $130.
Shazam! Oh my God! Jesus Christ!
Shazam.
Damn, Blue Beetle.
Shazam 2.
Shazam 2, yeah.
Fury of the Gods, also bad. 134.
Holy fuck!
Yeah, that's why everyone was mad at James Gunn, because James Gunn, how dare you? How could you go and make? My bad. How could James Gunn announce a slate so early? He just doomed every one of these projects. People said, there's something to that. But it was also no enthusiasm for the DC brand.
No, there wasn't, and that was the dying era of DC. So,
and how could Marvel not say, "Oh, the superhero interest right now is down. Let's not do Thunderbolts"? They could have decided that in 2023.
They could have.
They had so many signs, and they didn't do it.
Overconfidence about what they had in the tuck. That's what makes me very nervous about Fantastic Four. About rooting for that to beat Superman, because they were very confident about Thunderbolts. They were extremely confident.
Is Hugh Jackman a star? Is that why you mentioned him? Yeah, I could give him that.
Yes. Greatest Showman, Wolverine. Yeah.
Jackman. I really truly believe that Marvel was confident in the Thunderbolts. I don't believe that they were. I think they would be foolish themselves to believe that.
Well, but they did the things that, okay, well, here's what I'll say. They did the things that shows a theater or a studio is confident about their product. They lifted the review embargo early. They had the public screener. Marvel usually just shows their shit to their friends and family, right? So they were doing stuff. They had the marketing push. They showed the new Avengers name unveiling early while people were still in the first week of viewing the film. Like, at least they were trying to posture like they were confident, even if they didn't believe it. Is Ryan Reynolds a star because of Deadpool?
Free Guy was a movie.
And Free Guy, yeah, he's got a couple of them. He's got a couple.
I want to see how well Free Guy could perform before I say anything. It grossed 331. That's not like huge, but
it's not huge, but it had a low budget and low expectations. Sometimes
a lot of these guys, though, that with the way that we're talking about Arnold, the way that we talk about Tom Cruise is the last star, they're not that Tom Cruise level.
Yeah, no, those guys are dead. The Arnolds, the Slys, the Seagulls of the world, those guys are dead.
Because Timothée Chalamet is not doing it like that. Dune was great.
No.
He's got to prove himself outside of Dune.
I think the guys nowadays are better actors. Don't get me wrong. Like Tom Holland and Timothée Chalamet are out acting the socks off of Sly and Schwarzenegger. It's not even close.
Timothée Chalamet has proven outside of Dune that he is a great actor.
He's a very good actor. They're just not 6'1" and above and pumping steroids. So like they don't have the attention of men everywhere. They're not envied by men everywhere. They don't have that larger than life aesthetic that makes everyday men want to be them. I think everyday men see Timothée Chalamet outside of the Messiah Gib, and they're like, I would beat that guy up. I think they look at Schwarzenegger outside of Terminator and they're like, damn, if I could only look like that guy. I think there's a disconnect there that's keeping, today's movie stars from kind of obtaining that.
Let's see what Wonka did from 2023. Wonka grossed 634. That's impressive,
That's
actually.
good. That's huge. That's very good.
Damn. I'm not sure the budget was the Thunderbolts 180 million or whatever. So
we have to talk about established properties when we talk about Wonka, though, because again, Johnny Depp did it before him, and
Call Me by Your Name. King on Netflix did great in ratings.
Complete Unknown did 140, but that was a Searchlight Pictures, and I'm sure that's very profitable. What's the big one that you just said right now? What was Darius saying? Beautiful Boy?
Yeah, Beautiful Boy. Call Me by Your Name. Bones. Lady Bird.
Wasn't Chalamet in Challengers? Was he in Challengers? Was Zendaya? No,
he wasn't.
That wasn't him.
Is this the movie from 2018? This biographical drama with Steve Carell? Beautiful Boy?
It is, yes.
It grossed 31 million, so I don't know. I don't think that counts. Amazon Studios.
But are we judging? Okay, I'm confused.
I already said he's a quality actor. We were trying to say he's not like
himself.
Those guys are not the stars of old. They don't command an audience like a Sylvester Stallone or a Schwarzenegger. They're still better actors. Like there's no comparison about them in front of the camera. They just don't command an audience the way that those guys used to.
Brad Pitt counts.
Brad Pitt is a star, bona fide.
61 years old.
George Clooney, bona fide star. Tom Hanks.
He broke up with Angelina Jolie. They were together until 2019. Wow.
Brad Pitt. Yeah, you didn't know that?
No. Thought they were together.
Yep. Brad Pitt has had some of the most renowned. He had Anderson. He had Jolie. He had who else was he with? He's had a lot of famous wives.
That was fun. Impromptu conversation about who's these big stars. And we all went with males. You don't think Margot Robbie has it? Nah, no one came for Birds of Prey.
You know what? If there is a female one who's there,
Zendaya.
Has she starred in enough? But like, has she been a lead enough for us to compare her to Robbie?
No.
2024 Challengers 96 million. Yeah, that's not good. No. Never mind. That would have been it when I could have pointed at something.
ScarJo had it for a while.
Scarlett, yeah, she's fine. She's probably still has it in the right movie, in the right role. She's in Jurassic World, right? So she probably refreshed her status.
Meryl Streep.
Hey, are they doing Devil Wears
Prada?
They are.
That one, yeah, that one.
Meryl Streep is a.
So is Anne Hathaway and Emily Blunt also working in the same place?
I would hope not. Or they probably working in the same place, but like a higher position.
This one's very different. If you remember the way the last one ended, Emily Blunt didn't stay working with
girl.
Did she stay working with Meryl Streep's character?
I thought she did.
Did she? Okay, I'm trying to remember when she when
Emily Blunt was the assistant, and
she was the assistant.
Was the one that probably didn't end up working with Meryl Streep.
She didn't, but when Anne was leaving the party, the big event, the fashion show event, and she said, blah blah blah, I'm not going to work for you anymore. Oh, I get because Blunt's character was sick. That's why she couldn't make it.
Yeah.
No, I gotta go back and watch.
Darius, you're confusing me now.
I
feel
gotta
like
go
the
back
50s
and
and 60s had the
rewatch it.
Rat Pack and Marilyn Monroe's. Then it happened again in the 80s and 90s. So we are saying the same thing now. Is the Rat Pack, what does that mean? Rat Pack meaning like females?
No, the Rat Pack. Sammy Davis, Sinatra.
It's an American thing. No.
Okay. The more you know.
Okay. Yeah, Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis, the Rat Pack. You don't know Sinatra?
I know who they are. I did it my way.
There you go. Yeah.
Viola Davis name, etc. couldn't make anyone watch that G20 thing.
I would say,
Woman
yeah,
King did bad
she hasn't
too.
made a lot, but if we have them, if we have black female, like bona fide stars, Viola Davis, Angela Bassett,
Megan Good,
no,
Halle Berry.
She's close. She's the name that they cast most, readily. I don't know if she's made a bunch of money.
Lupita Nyong'o.
Right now, Lupita's a very, very hot name. Yes.
I'm looking for Quiet Place. I know that did well. The one where she was the star.
Did it?
Quiet Place Day One, $261 million. That was profitable, but not great. But
not great.
profitable.
Right? Yeah, profitable.
I agree with Stamina. I love Viola Davis because I think How to Agree with Murder is phenomenal. But I didn't watch G20, and I'm not going to.
Keke Palmer ain't no star, nah.
She had a successful one of them days, but when the budget is only 10 million or something small like that, you're supposed to be successful. No Octavia Spencer, no to Kerry Washington. I just saw her flunk with Omar Sy in the movie Shadow Force. It was a good movie too. Good family message and everything. Jonathan Majors. Oh, that's we're talking females, right? We're talking females.
Females, yeah, females.
Tessa Thompson. No.
I don't. That's a tough one. I don't know.
Jennifer Hudson. Angela Bassett.
It's getting tough. It's getting tough. Yeah, Angela Bassett and Viola Davis, I think, are the closest we have.
Zoe Saldana does great for herself.
Yeah, she's not in this conversation.
I know Black Poppy. I know Black.
Unfortunately, you might have to. Well, no,
I put her in the conversation, by the way. That's Marcus. I just want to say that if someone's ethnicity is of that continent, I don't not count them. If they want to celebrate the part of their family that's from the Latin American part of the world, all for it.
That is my personal belief. That's my personal belief, but that's not why I'm putting that on her. I put that on her because I take people at their word and what they choose to highlight. And at the biggest moment of her career, I think she showed us what it was most popular or most important to her.
Was she playing a Latino character? Wasn't it relevant?
Fam?
No, it's no fam. She was playing a character.
Highlight your blackness. You would take that opportunity to do it at any turn.
Sensitive.
I don't think you turn off your blackness because there are Latinos in the room. If you're
highlighting one side of your lineage isn't ignoring the other side of your lineage. It's Cinco de Mayo. Do I got to pretend celebrate my black side every Cinco de Mayo?
What were we even talking about before we got on Zoe Saldana?
Let's
we were
black. Raymond
black
gave us some great ones. Regina King, Taraji, Whoopi. Now these are all, but top 10.
I like Whoopi, but yeah, Whoopi's like, if we're talking, okay, now if we're ranking, like saying, oh yeah, this actress is in the top 10 actresses of black actresses of all time. Sure, Whoopi's in. I would put Whoopi, or of our time, I'd put Whoopi in that. But as far as Whoopi headlining a movie now, and no.
You know what? I think Taraji has been in some very successful films. She was in Hustle and Flow. She was in Think Like a Man. She's been in some pretty successful films.
Hidden Figures.
She's made some money now. I just don't.
Why not tell it?
You know what it is? It's the fucking Tyler Perry films. I'm literally applying negatives every time I think of the money she's made with Tyler Perry. It's messing me up.
God, Hidden Figures actually made 200 million, 235. Wow,
that's a good haul for Hidden Figures.
Yeah, there wasn't no special VFX or anything. So that's a solid. And those women were underpaid. So that was a great outing for her. Maybe Taraji P. Henson, maybe she is number one. The
90s
Chloe and
era
Halle.
Vivica Fox. I don't know if she's ever made, hundreds of millions of dollars in a film, but she was in Independence Day.
Yeah.
Set it off.
Do we like Halle Bailey? Does she need more than just the Disney movie where she was a princess?
More than Little Mermaid.
Because even that underperformed when you compare it to Aladdin and some of the other, like Lilo and Stitch.
You know why I'm still skeptical of her as a full-time actor? Her musical that they were making with Pharrell got scrapped. It was 100% done. Like they were done. They were in the editing phase. They were past post-production, and that film's not even going to see the light of day. So something was bad about that project. I'm hoping it wasn't Halle Bailey, but a little bit of a question around her acting.
Great pick, Cynthia Erivo. Why we're giving it because she did an established IP, Wicked. It doesn't count. I think that you got to give her points.
Yeah, Wicked. I mean, okay. So what else? If we take Wicked out of it,
the question that's going to say the question is not if they have. The question is, okay, yeah, she did Wicked. It did what it did, but can she take another movie and people go see it? People went and saw Wicked because it was Wicked.
Yeah,
not for Cynthia Erivo.
I don't think like her best performance I've seen her in Bad Times at the El Royale, and I don't know if that movie made anything.
I liked her in Harriet Tubman. I didn't know she was British in that one. I know. I'm with you. Nia Long, professed the film fan, brings up that actress, but she was always great in the roles she did. What did she ever lead in?
Yeah, she never led. She's never been a lead.
Gabrielle Union was another great actress in the roles she was in, but she talks about her lack of opportunity. Like she killed it in Bad Boys, she killed it in Bring It On.
I think that's why Being Mary Jane was so popular for her. Well, the obvious, Being Mary Jane came out and probably started the gender wars. But I think that was so popular for her with women is because it was the first time that she was seen in a role she was a leading character. Deliver Us from Eva is a very rememberable role for her because she was the lead.
Zoe Kravitz is 8/16.
No, Zoe Kravitz got two black parents. She got her mama black, her daddy black. She don't act it, but she black.
I think Lisa Bonet and Lenny Kravitz are both half.
Oh, so now if you're half black, you're not black.
No, I was actually just trying to explain the joke to you. I was trying to explain to you why I said 8/16. That's why I said what I said. I still okay.
I was giving you shit.
People like Lashana. She was in James Bond, wasn't she?
Lashana. She was also in a show that we reviewed earlier this year, The Day of the Jackal. She had a really good performance in that.
Woman
Played
King.
an annoying character, a terrible character, but she had a good performance.
Woman King didn't do well enough though. Zoe Kravitz, no thank you. She's a female Dwayne Johnson. Okay. Yeah, Woman King wasn't that great though. Yeah, it's hard out here for when it comes to black women who are actors. We can't call them stars, but there's plenty who are great compliments to a casting.
Well, deserving, of their workload.
What's her name? Who played Rue in Hunger Games, and she played Acolyte.
Storm. No, not Storm Reed. What is her name? Amandla. Amandla Steinberg. Nope, she was.
If you see her in the movie, you're like, okay, yeah, we got an actor in here.
Yep.
Or the one who played Storm that I think of, you said Storm, Alessandra Shipp. She was in the movie with Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney. She was the rom-com one. Alessandra Shipp.
Yeah. I didn't watch that movie though. I know what you're talking about though.
But she's somewhere where you're like, yeah, I like her. Or Ariana DiBiase, I think her name is. You could find a black woman who's in a movie and you go, oh, this is quality, yeah. But
what is the chick's name? She had the chewing gum series on BBC, and then she had a show on HBO for a while. They gave her a role in Black Panther.
Oh, Michael
It's like it's not Michael. It's like Michelle Cole. Is that it? Michelle Cole. There you go. Yeah, Michelle, whatever her name is, Cole. I feel the same way about her. Tremendous actor, very good actor. Just hasn't budded yet. Hasn't had an opportunity to be a lead.
Denai Guerrera from Black Panther. She's someone who's like
same,
good,
very good actor, strong actor too. Walking Dead, right? She turned herself into a lead. She actually was introduced as a side character, as a
side character,
super side character, and worked her way all the way up the list to being like second on the call sheet.
This woman, I know she was in Sinners, and I know she's Hunter B-15.
Woo! Probably the best performance in Sinners was Woomy. Probably had the strongest performance in Sinners, in my opinion.
Oh, the other woman from Sinners, Jamie Lawson. There, we got someone who is good, but she hasn't started anything or carried anything.
Don't care. She's number one in our hearts. I
want the opportunity, and there's not much that like. Okay, there's the Children of Blood and Bone adaptation, and it's being done by same girl from Woman King, Thuso Mbedu, I think her name is, the South African actress, right? She's like 31, but she looks like she's one. You know the one.
Give me the
Thuso Mbedu. I could be saying it wrong. The star of Woman.
Where would I know her from?
Woman King. She was the girl in Woman King.
Oh yes, yeah. Got you. Okay, yep.
So that's someone who I hope could do great things, but I know she's not that star. She's not there yet. Iowa Debris, that's a great pick. She does well. She's in a popular show with The Bear. I think if she can just select the right, she's like where Damson Idris is. Just what do you pick next? Let's make sure that you're in something significant. Iowa Debris is probably like the most potential, maybe 27, something young like that. Issa Rae.
As an actor, she's so. As a creator, I love her. I like her view. I like her POV. I like how she handles characters. I like how she handles conflict. I don't think she necessarily picks a side of right or wrong. I think she writes people in a way that wherever you are mentally and wherever you are emotionally, there's enough characters and enough nuance between those characters for you to find your person. I think everybody who enjoyed Insecure had a favorite character, and there's probably not a lot of people who have the same favorite character. And that is a tale of a good writer, because you're writing for people to interpret themselves and not necessarily handhold them through the story. I love Issa Rae as a creator. She's a so-so actor.
What's the name of the one who was Reva in Kenobi?
Moses Ingram. Isn't that her name? Moses Ingram?
Moses Ingram, age 31. Didn't realize she was so young. She was in Lady in the Lake, The End. She was in Queen's Gambit. Obi-Wan Kenobi from 2022.
Was she the lady in Lady on the Lake?
You tell me.
Oh, no, she was the mom. No,
she
I
played
thought that
Cleo
was the lady
Sherwood.
Hold on, no, the mom is the one from The Harder They Fall, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
Or am I tripping?
Tiana.
Was that her?
That's what the casting says. I didn't watch it. Tiana Taylor, they put her in stuff, but I need her to take more acting. Yeah, I think that's disrespectful to Zendaya and Regina King and everyone else we mentioned to include Tiana Taylor in this conversation. I think everyone that we're mentioning, and like another Wunmi Mosoka, another one from the comments. I think all the names that we're mentioning were like, they're worthy of this. Tracy Ellis Ross, yeah, I'd give her that. TV wise, she's great. Blackish,
great on television. Yeah, she's great on television. I think she could do film.
Tia and Tamara are great on television.
She can do a film. She was in this movie with Dakota Johnson. She was playing a retired recording artist. going on like one of her last tours. She was decent. Didn't make no money, but it was all right.
Zazie Beetz, yep.
She's cool. Solid actor.
Yeah, but what she's done?
Not box office, but she's a solid actor for sure.
Hey, by the way, this is also like the opportunities that they get. You know, don't just look at it like we're just, they're not perfect. They're not perfect.
But there are some women that I think we've seen could be more with the opportunity. That was our point of mentioning Gabrielle Union, talking about how Vivica had, been in those positions before. Nia Long never really getting the opportunity to, be thrust into those roles. So it's not like that with everybody. Buck's thoughts, get the hell on out of here with that. You can take that shit all the way back to Eritrea.
Hey, they got a supermarket here was it Uganda? Where was she? Zimbabwe?
They got a supermarket here in Africa and Nigeria, and they got juice, and like you would never know that woman's roots is from that continent. Like no, but like directly though, like within the last several generations, like a direct connection. We're not just talking about ships here. We talking like, no, you Eritrean.
Voluntary travel.
It's crazy.
TER. Is that the name of Erica? She was in American Fiction with Jeffrey Wright. TER.
American Fiction.
I know who
the guy who writes the screenplay secretly, anonymously. Right?
That's the movie with Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah.
C.H. Pounder, Alfred Woodard, S. Epitha Merkson, Yaya DaCosta. You know these names? I think I just casted a spell. I don't even know. What did I just say?
I don't know.
She was in Deadpool, Joker, ATL. Talk about Zazie Beetz? Yeah. She was not starring in anything.
Zazie Beetz was not in ATL.
Then
do you think that Lauren London is Zazie Beetz? Not you, but the commenter.
Nicole Bahari? Who's this?
I mean, we could look these people up.
Okay. I've seen her before. 40-year-old actress. She's been in Sleepy Hollow, 42. Yeah, she was in 42.
Oh yeah, very good. She was the wife in the Viper, the Striking Viper episode of Black Mirror.
I remember her in the John Boyega movie Breaking. She was the bank teller, right?
She was the bank teller. Yep.
She was supposed to do something with Black Panther. I don't remember what exactly.
So we're talking talent, but we're not taking like what has she carried?
She's a good example of an actress who hasn't had the opportunity to lead. She was Ernest, the running back for the Cleveland Browns. She was his wife in his life story. I can't think of his name right now. In Express. That was probably the closest thing that she's been to a lead.
Dope as hell.
Yep.
Kim Fields.
Living Single. Another very good actor.
Didn't watch that show. She's 56. Living Single, The Upshaws. Oh, she's in The Upshaws. I know who she is.
She's Tootie. Come on now, Tootie.
Tootie from what?
Didn't she Tootie in The Facts of Life?
Yeah, she was in The Facts of Life also.
Yes. Yep. But if he didn't know Living Single, I wouldn't expect him to know The Facts of Life.
Yeah, didn't watch that. Sorry. I don't think that, but Kim Fields and her filmography, popularity on TV, yes. Filmography-wise, like she's not touching some of the names. Kerry Washington.
You know who we forgot?
We forgot somebody?
I don't think I've seen her in a project that she wasn't the lead. Queen Latifah.
Oh, that's a name.
I haven't seen her play in other than the scary movies. I haven't seen her play in a project where she wasn't the lead. Bringing Down the House, Just Right, Last Holiday, Equalizer. She's the lead in everything she show up in. So she has a hell of an agent, first of all. A great agent. Because she's not popping out on anything that she's not the number one in the call sheet. And she's a former rapper.
Yeah.
So it ain't like anybody have to take a, well, she did live in single, so she proved herself as an actor. But still, be headlining projects.
The beauty salon.
I forgot about Beauty Salon. Yeah.
That one did well, didn't it? It got a
Mhm.
sequel.
Yeah, that was a spinoff from Barbershop.
But sometimes it doesn't matter if you do well. Monique won an Oscar and she couldn't get in anything, and she was
I think
blackballed.
that had a little bit more to do with being blackballed. But that's a good case in point. It's a good case in point.
Damn, it sucks that there's like this ceiling, and you would think that Tyler Perry is the one who's gonna help you get past the ceiling, and he's not there. He's
Not when
making
he
trauma.
writing you as some ghetto black woman in every project he puts you in. I'm confused on what Taraji's doing. It's 2025. People respect you. You don't have to do this anymore. You don't have to do this.
That was my reaction when somebody showed me that Tyler Perry movie with Taraji P. Henson. I was disgusted.
I'm like, you are a woman of stature now. You don't have to do this.
And Tyler doesn't have to do this. And I'm
he
pretty fed
does
up.
because he's addicted, but she doesn't.
Let Ryan Coogler be what Tyler Perry is not. Someone who adapts.
Felicia Rashad is an actor of an age where they wouldn't allow a black woman to be out in front, but absolutely she deserves to be high on that list.
Danielle Brooks deserves more than she has. Okay.
Danielle Brooks. What do I know Danielle Brooks from?
Is she from Forever? She's 35. I've seen her in things. The Color Purple.
Orange is the New Black.
She's
Peacemaker.
in Minecraft.
Minecraft, yeah.
Peacemaker, Minecraft. Okay, she's in things. So, and a lot of these things she's the supporting cast member of, but they're successful. People seen Peacemaker.
Fantasia actually surprised me in Color Purple. Once I actually sat down and watched the movie, because they had to work on me to actually make me watch that shit. But she surprised me.
She's active. Holy, she was in Piano Lesson too. Okay. You know who else was? Danielle Detweiler. You know, she killed it when it came to the Emmett Till movie. Danielle Detweiler, maybe talent-wise, we're talking talent. She's killed it. Danielle Detweiler is a great actress. Harder They Fall, she had a role there. She playing like I'm a boy. I'm a woman, but I don't.
That's
like
the
woman.
mom in Lady in the Yard.
Yes,
that's who
the
I was
woman in the
talking
yard.
about. Yeah, that's the mom.
Yeah, Danielle Detweiler is a great talent here. But if
Honestly,
we're talking about beauty, like, is she going to be cast to play Storm like we think for DeWanda Wise? I don't think Danielle Detweiler has that. And in the conversation of women actresses, unfortunately, we got to bring that up. Like, some women are great. Rachel McAdams, they look good and they can act. And that's just, but it really doesn't matter sometimes. Sorry.
I don't think she looks bad. I don't think she looks like she could be Storm, but she's not ugly. Now that took me off of what the hell I was about to say.
You were gonna say Kelly Rowland killed it in Mea Culpa.
Wait. It's coming back to me. Coming back to me. There was another actor who I was about to compare to Detweiler. Damn it. Oh, fucking Dominique Thorne. If she wasn't about to sign herself up to be ran through the internet mud like she is with Ironheart, I think the combination of was it not Black Klansman? It was the Fred Hampton story, right? Fred Hampton,
Judas and the Black Messiah.
Judas and the Black Messiah, Wakanda Forever, which made a bunch of money.
Dominique Fishback's name comes before I put before I spell the word out completely. I don't see her.
Fishback, Dominique Thorne.
I know, but I'm saying I'm looking for it on my autofill.
And Dominique
it shows
Fishback
other people.
No, that's my point. I felt like 3 or 4 years ago, her name was in the zeitgeist. She allowed Disney to bench her. She allowed Disney to put her name on ice when it was hot. Like, she had an opportunity in there where her name was very hot. And now I don't know what to expect her to get from this Ironheart run. Probably just controversy.
She's in Avenger Secret Wars. Oh, if Beale Street could talk, there she was in that. Yeah,
she was in Beale Street. Yep.
Yeah, some of this Marvel stuff is going to make her more popular. Some of the other stuff showcases her talent. So, we're at a crossroads right now with what we do with her in her career. But again, a 27-year-old black woman, there's not many opportunities for jobs for you to take that step up. Not when Zendaya, it was also your
I
age.
wouldn't have taken the one that's going to make me not visible for 2 years. That's just me. But,
Who's this? Or should we end the stream? We're digging, clawing the bottom of the barrel. I'm good.
Teyana Paris, another one. She got put on ice. She had a baby. But her name was pretty popular for a while. They cloned Tyrone. She was in that movie that the Smiths and Meek Mill produced about the bike riders in Philly. Her name was pretty hot. And then she sat down.
What about that Photon TV series Marvel's doing, though?
Canceled.
Canceled. But don't worry, they care about the character. One day they'll say her superhero name in a TV show or movie.
We'll see.
We're elevating black women. Chill. You didn't get anything better to do than this. God damn it. Yeah. We're 3 hours into the live stream. People got to sleep.
It's a good spot.
Recast T'Challa trending day, July 1st. If you want to do something stamina, go on your Twitter account, Blood, and then schedule your tweet for July 1st using the hashtag, and we can get started early on it. We can be successful with this trending day and maybe even influence a SDCC casting announcement. Just be sure not to mention how much Shuri sucks or whatever anti-woman stuff that is going to, apply some foresight and just think about what are people going to say underneath my tweet.
I swear to God, if I see anyone, they're not going to respond to me, but if I see anybody talking about Shuri in one of these responses to these recasts, because we're going to go viral, and there is going to be a bot farm in there for Disney responding. But I'm just going to ask, I'm going to go through, I just scrolled through the last 30 days of your tweets, and I don't see anything either Black Panther related or Shuri related.
Yeah.
Explain, sir. Why are you not going up for the female Black Panther? Why are you not going up for the heir to the throne? Why are you not saying anything about Shuri? Explain yourself, sir. Or ma'am. That's what I'm on. I'm not doing Twitter fights. I want to ask them,
like you're only being
laying down their feminist arms for Shuri.
Because you're more anti-black than you are
pro-black woman.
Yeah.
That's it right there. You're more anti-black than you are pro-black woman.
Here comes Brian with exactly what I'm saying not to do. Fuck Shuri as Black Panther. That's such an invitation to you just hate women.
Yeah. Found a more eloquent way to say it, Brian.
T'Challa or nothing. I can agree there.
There you go. Much better. much better.
Toussaint is the threat, and we got to reject that character. And we got to say we reject Toussaint because he's not a suitable replacement for this. He's not a big win for recast T'Challa. Toussaint is a problem. I'm quoting E-Man. E-Man said it'd be a big win if they gave T'Challa a son, Mary Storm. E-Man said if we put him through a quantum tunnel,
that'd be a win.
We age him up. I saw E-Man say there was some legwork to do with him. I'm like, yeah.
No, if we could just stop at that sentence. If they gave T'Challa a son and he married Storm, that would mean he's not dead and he has a son and a wife. That in itself would be a win. I don't know if there's something negative in there I'm not picking up on. Did he say something else?
Said a lot of things.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, what is Darius grooving to?
I don't know.
You see, when we said his name, his eyes moved. Like he changed tabs. He pressed pause on the song he was playing.
No, it's not a song. Somebody posted something on Twitter.
Share with the group. Maybe we'll like it also.
We got to go.
Yeah, I was going to say, probably not.
3 hours, 18 minutes. Time to go.
Yeah, we were done our scheduled stuff a long time ago. What are we doing here?
At least 20 minutes ago. But I appreciate the conversation we had.
Is Darius doing a stream tomorrow? Are you going to talk about the Fantastic Four spoilers over there?
Possibly so. If we do, you'll see that thumbnail.
For sure.
Marcus, what time are you going to be streaming this Sunday?
4-ish. Sometime around 4. Just show up at the 4 o'clock hour. We'll get going eventually.
You did it like at 12 the other day, though.
Yeah, we had to go at 12 because I was on my way up to Cleveland for the Memorial Day holiday. So I appreciate all those who adjusted their schedule to be with us on Sunday, but we'll be back to our regular this Sunday. So tune in 4 o'clock.
I got you this week, Stamina.
Hey, I've been watching y'all every single time on Thursday and Friday because I swear to God, y'all switch up every now and then. But rock out. I'm fucking with it. I'm out.
Thank you, Josh.
Appreciate it.
I know.